Y'all, it is my favorite day in the NBA calendar. For the day this comes out, it is officially the start of NBA free agency. I think by the time y'all are listening to this, free agency will be starting in like 4 or 5 hours. So today we're going to talk about all the biggest rumors, the people that have already signed extensions, people that have already been waived. And then after that, we're going to go through and we're going to go by every single NBA team and talk about their biggest need that needs to be filled in free agency.
This is your favorite day? This is your favorite day for real?
Bro, I fucking love transactions. I'm such
a 2K nerd.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm such a new age NBA fan. It's not really my favorite day, but I'm definitely a little slut for trades and stuff like that. I'm here for it.
You see, I'm not as big of a fan because trades and all that stuff happens at the most impromptu times. Like back when Kawhi Leonard got traded, it was like 4 a.m. Everybody was asleep.
In fact, that was crazy. Yeah, man. So also for y'all watching, a few days ago, we concluded our first round of giveaways for our merch drop. We gave away the first hoodie. You'll see the guy who won it on screen. Can't remember his name right now. But by the time this episode comes out, we'll have our second giveaway started. So if you go to our channel and go to the community tab, you'll see a post to give away our first t-shirt. So go in there right now or after you watch the full episode and follow us on Twitter, comment, do everything you see in the post to try to win that t-shirt.
Good luck. These t-shirts hard.
They are hard. They are. They're stitched. They're clean.
All right, let's get into it because some stuff happened today that I'm 100% ready to talk about.
Okay. Tell us what the first news score is going to be. Lead us into it.
Yes. Okay. So James Harden opted into his player deal. He opted into $35.6 million, but him and the Sixers have basically agreed. He's done there. He's played his last game. They're talking about working with him to get a trade done. The two teams that came up, the Clippers and the Knicks, which I wasn't very happy to hear that we were interested in trading for James Harden. But that's kind of the news of the day. And so now everybody's trying to figure out where James Harden's going to play next. Yeah. So listen, the Houston thing is also a little bit out of there. I know that was like a big thing at the start of the year. What do y'all think about where James Harden is going to end up?
It's interesting because we've all been saying for months now that he wants to go back to Houston, and it seemed like the interest is mutual. But yeah, you're right. This confirms that clearly they and the 76ers both didn't want to commit to him long term. I think that was the hiccup, is that he wanted multiple years in the deal to be like a long-term commitment. And they were like, listen, man, your hamstring is mush. We're not giving you more than 2 years. So it's interesting because he's not, like you said, he opted in exclusively to request a trade. I want to see him on the Clippers. What do you think, Mo?
Yeah, you put him on the Clippers, it's going to be all-time or all-team hospital bed right there. Like, they're not playing any games for real. It would be actually dope, and he fixes, like, just about all the problems that they have. But overall, when I think about, like, James Harden in the last 2 years of his career, this is the third time where he requested a trade. And so if I'm any team, every team, I am not hesitant to give him a contract because it's like, or make that trade because he's like an all-time great, and a lot of people overthink things like this. But at the same time, like, how much of your future do you want to compromise for a player like James Harden at this stage of his career?
I mean, that's the crazy thing. Clearly, the 76ers weren't trying to give him that multi-year deal, so even they agree. They've had him, and even they, who it's in their best interest to retain their second star, even they're like, we can't rely on this guy for 4 years. We're not giving him a 4-year max. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, if they're going to get assets for him, then I think it's okay to let go. Now, if he was just to walk, then I think obviously like that would be the worst case scenario. Yeah. But for 2 straight years, if you're the Sixers, you've had James Harden in the last game of the season be a complete no-show. And if you are on Joel Embiid trade watch and you are trying to get him a championship, you're trying to get him to stay, there's already rumblings that like he's probably going to be the next star to ask out. The second guy next to him needs to be able to pick up the load and to keep going. And so it's like, if James Harden's not that guy, then you might as well move on, get some more assets, let Maxey run the team, and we'll figure this out later.
Yeah. The thing is, though, they're going to get assets back for him, but they're not going to be good assets. Like, if he's going to the Clippers, the team that wants him, they get Norm Powell, Terrence Mann, and Zubac. Like, is that going to be enough to make Joel Embiid want to stay there?
Is there no scenario that y'all see in which Paul George gets to the Sixers?
Absolutely not. No.
I would not do that at all. Like,
for 1 year, James Harden? Hell no.
Yeah, and over the last few years, like, I don't want to say that Paul George has been better than James Harden, but there's no needle moving in my mind, even if you do swap it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I just think for James, and I know that he hasn't been as durable, but for the Clippers, it makes sense. It makes sense just because their guys really, really haven't been durable, but you're just banking a lot on guys who just don't show up one way or another, and so that's why I just don't. I understand why the Clippers want to go after James Harden. They feel like they need another piece, right, as insurance for Kawhi, because he can't play 3 games in the playoffs without his knee falling apart. But that can't be the guy that you're going for. Just with the 2 stars that you already have, like we've said, and their inability to be on the court at any major moment, why would you add another guy who might be there, but his play is going to act like he's not there at all?
Yeah. I mean, they're desperate, right? Like people were talking about after this last playoff run, you can't rely on Paul George or Kawhi whatsoever. Even Jerry West said that on Paul George's pod. So it's pure desperation. Like, they have to do something different to give them a chance, because it hasn't been working, right? Like, whether it be for on-court reasons like in the bubble or health reasons like we've seen after, they're like, we got to make a big swing. And maybe the vision is, if we have 2 stars who can't stay healthy, a 3rd star gives us some insurance for that, because even if one's out, we're going to have 2 other guys. But, yeah, I mean, on paper, it makes sense, right?
The issue with that, though, is, like, Harden is not real insurance because of the injury issues. Like, in general, yes, he is, because of his play style and his ability to, like, carry a low ceiling team who's depleted of their stars. So even that, it's like there's a nick in that, in which I don't believe in that. If you're going to trade for James Harden, I think you're trading him or you're getting him for the wrong reasons. You know, like if this was 5 years ago or 6, 7, 8 years ago, yeah, for sure, it makes complete sense. He can do that on a consistent basis, but he hasn't shown that over the past year and a half. So I don't know. They've tried this with like the point guard options they had over the last few years has been Rondo, blah, James Hart or John Wall, blah, Russell Westbrook. It actually was pretty good, and he helped win them a game in the most awkward way ever in the playoffs. But still, like, blah,
nice, great,
you know. So I don't know. I think this is just an all-time Clippers move if they do this.
Facts. That's a great way to describe it.
Facts. Okay, well, Donovan, you said ew when you said you saw the Knicks were in there. Why don't you want them on the Knicks?
We have Jalen Brunson. Like, you already have a point guard who you're putting the entire offense on, and he's much younger, much cheaper, and you won a playoff series with him being the best player on the team. Everybody else can go, right? It's very clear that Jalen Brunson is the star and the leader of this team, and now it's about how you're going to fill the team around him. And I don't think that having James Harden next to Jalen Brunson is a smart thing to do. I think the best thing to do is to figure out how do you get Julius Randle about the paint, right? How do you get him? How do you get him for real? How do you get him on another team where you can get somebody who's a little bit more reliable, somebody who can move the offense a little bit better than he can, and just somebody that you feel that you can trust a little bit, because no matter what Julius Randle does, I think from this point on, we're going to get to the playoffs and all Knicks fans are going to be looking around and just every game holding their breath on, are we going to get the Julius Randle that we've seen all year, the one that, you know, snuck into all NBA, the All-Star version, or are we going to get 2 for 14 in an elimination game? Like, what's happening? Yeah. And James Harden just feels redundant with Jalen Brunson there, and especially with Brunson elevating and peaking, or not even peaking, but just elevating the way he was this year.
Oh, that makes total sense. Yeah, I don't hate the idea of him and Jalen Brunson, but I don't love it either for the reasons you said. It would put Harden more as like back to his old 2-guard days when he was playing originally before Mike D'Antoni made him the like full-time point guard. Sure, I guess, but his biggest strength at this point is his passing. So I don't really see the vision now that I'm talking about it.
Need to find a way to get him to Minnesota. Get Cat out the paint. Get James Harden to Minnesota.
You want to see Cat and Joel Embiid?
Listen, it's gonna have to be a 3-teamer. Everybody, hop on the NBA trade machines. Send us some trades. Figure out a way to get James Harden to Minnesota, because that would, off the top of my head, that's the only thing that's making sense right now. That's it.
All right, let's move on to the other guard that's been in the news. Other star caliber guard, Kyrie Irving.
Wait, real quick, just real quick. If James Harden does get moved, like, that has to mean that Joel Embiid's future over there for the 76ers, like, it has to be like ticking and running, right?
Oh yeah, it puts them on the clock immediately, because then it makes
the biggest
because then it makes this next season it's going to be Embiid, Maxey, and Tobias Harris. And if you don't have any other assets to go get like a legitimate start, like you're banking a lot on Tyrese Maxey making a huge jump. And I think we all love Tyrese Maxey, but do we think that he's going to be a, all NBA type player this next year and like the caliber that you need to win a championship?
I do not.
Probably not.
Not his bag.
Yeah. So what's going on with the Sixers? What are we doing if James Harden walks? Like, yeah, Embiid's on the clock after that.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City Thunder, hell, maybe even the New Orleans Pelicans. All the teams who has hella picks, this is your time to shine.
These are the guy you would try to cash in for. Yeah, it's definitely going to be. I don't think he's the type of guy to request a trade like immediately, but he's going to go in the next season. He's going to have Tobias Harris be his number 2, scoring 22 points per game instead of 20, and not shit's going to change. And he's going to be on that clock real fast, like you said. Maybe next trade deadline, we're going to see some movement.
Love to see it.
Now let's move on to the other guard that's in the news, Kyrie Irving. He's officially visiting with other teams, exploring his free agency route. It came out today that he's meeting with the Suns and what was the other team?
I can't remember.
Was it the Suns and Mavs? I can't remember.
I think it was Mavs too.
Okay, well the interesting part here is the Suns, obviously, because they traded for Bradley Beal. So they have KD, Booker, Bradley Beal, Ayton, and a bunch of minimums. So they're interested in Kyrie Irving, which screams to me just Kyrie Irving doing that for leverage against the Mavs because he knows the Suns can't get him. The only way the Suns could get him is if he signed a minimum contract or if they signed and traded him for Ayton and he'd still take a fat pay cut, which from what we know, that's his prerogative is to get paid. That's why he requested a trade from the Nets.
Yeah.
So hard to imagine he'd go to the Suns for the minimum.
Oh, no. There's absolutely no way he signed a
No way. Yeah, he's not a ring chaser. He's fucking 29.
That would set a crazy precedent if stars just started signing veteran minimums to team up to make all-star teams.
That doesn't make any sense. My thing with Kyrie is, like, if you're going to do this, I don't know if the news was real or fake. Probably is real because it came from Chris Haynes. Like, why not be more realistic with this? Because at this point, like, you're sending the wrong type of message because of the type of team that you're going towards.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, like I said, it just seems like he's going to be with the Mavs, and it's a negotiation tactic to see if he can get the full 4 or 5 years that he wants. Because I imagine the Mavs want to give him a smaller commitment because he's Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, but I don't... Yeah. There's no reason for Kyrie to do this. He has the leverage in the situation. The Mavs traded all of these assets to go get Kyrie, and if he walked for nothing, like... then the Mavs themselves would be in a terrible position because then you would have Luka with literally absolutely nobody. And so I think Kyrie has enough leverage in the situation to get the money he wants, maybe even to get the years and get the most ideal contract. But he doesn't need to be doing this. And the Suns, it would be so stupid for the Suns to trade their center to go get another guard and then really have absolutely no depth whatsoever.
Pure bucket getters. It'd be hilarious.
It's awful.
It'd be like Team USA. It would just be ridiculous the way they'd be playing.
Not even Team USA, just NBA Street. That's all it would be. It's not a good idea.
Someone said it would be the all-time, go do his ass team.
Yo, that's an accurate description.
Yeah, man. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, Kyrie's going to be mad. I think we all agree on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just a troll.
I saw a report that the Heat are putting their interest toward trying to get him instead of Lillard. Maybe the Heat could pull off a sign and trade of some sort. I wouldn't hate that if they could do some kind of Hero Robinson picks for Kyrie if he was dead set on leaving. But we also saw reports
that would be a fantastic move.
Yeah, it'd be dope, right? But we also saw some reports. I don't know how true they are if it comes down to it. That apparently the Mavs aren't willing to facilitate a trade for him. So maybe if it come down to losing him for nothing, they would do it. But they're probably not interested.
That's one. That's just petty on the Mavs' part. 2, I would pay money to see how Pat Riley interacts with Kyrie Irving. Pat Riley and the Heat and the most, we're just gonna put our head down and go to work franchise with Kyrie Irving, who does absolutely whatever he wants. Please let me know what that initial conversation looks like, because that would be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Man.
Yeah, man. Let's fly through these news stories real quick so we can get to the bread and butter. Next thing is Mo's Hawks traded John Collins finally. After years of being on the trade block, we've heard 1,000 stories about how he's available, but it never gets done. It finally got done. And the return, jack shit. They traded him as a salary dump, got basically literally nothing in return, and got rid of him to be under the luxury tax and not hit the new second apron in the CBA.
So
Mo,
what
how do you
this
feel?
whole entire CBA is doing is exposing how good of a game these GMs have holistically. Not only do you have to be really nice at drafting, which the Hawks were pretty good at drafting, if not like A+, you got to give them like B+, because they did everything pretty much that they're supposed to do except for get Luka. But when it comes to like these contracts, and after that 2021 run, you know, they just started giving out contracts to everyone like we were Oprah. Like fucking Travis Sink was literally Oprah. Like DeAndre Hunter, you get a contract. 14 points per game. Oh, John Collins, go ahead. You get a contract. Clint Capella, you get a contract. It was just kind of OD, you know? And so this is just like, it was insane mismanagement that was being done when it came to the business aspect of the Hawks. And on top of that, they waited way too long in order to get off of John Collins. You should have traded him, pick a peak of his powers, and finesse the team. But instead, you put your team in literally a headlock from hell, and now you're just throwing him away for Rudy Gay, who we tried to get a couple years ago, and now we finally have him when he's there. So this is a punch to the stomach.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, you're right. Like, on one hand, they don't need John Collins. They have too many bodies. They can unleash AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, kind of like let those young guys get more run. John Collins wasn't being best utilized next to Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. He's just not the right fit. So getting rid of him is fine. But like you said, if they traded him a year ago or 2 years ago, they could have got 2 first-round picks on a young player. So to wait too long and get nothing for him, it's just like, at some point it's a sunk cost, I guess. But like you said, mismanagement. Just a terrible move. Like, there's no way to justify it.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just like what has to happen at this point. And the Hawks aren't going to be the only team who makes these types of moves. Like a lot of GM's past moves are going to be exposed. And so, as a Hawks fan, like this, you do this because like your plan is you're going to let Jalen Johnson get some serious running because he has real talent that works in the type of offense that you'd like to run with Trae Young in a perfect world, but this world ain't perfect, especially Trae Young's game. Him to have the ball in his hands all the time. But regardless of the fact, Jalen Johnson can hoop. AJ Griffin, like you said, can seriously hoop. And you have that option, okay, to fall back on. But really, option A might be Pascal Siakam. I saw those rumors. As soon as I saw that tweet up on my Twitter For You page, I was on my knees praying to God on a glorious Sunday or Saturday. So there are multiple moves to be made after this. And with the Hawks and all of the Hawks fans out there, like, just got to take to the chest. We lost our heart, our soul, our leader. But it is what it is.
Word?
Yes, he was the heart of that team.
That's
easily.
crazy. That's
Our producer. So we have a producer now who's running this camera you're seeing right now. Our guy Nikhil just pulled up Mo's tweet. This is on my knees this glorious Saturday, praying the Hawks get Pascal Siakam. He was not lying. His ass was on his knees. Truth.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
That's hilarious. But yeah, man. Terrible move. Because Fred VanVleet's probably going to leave the Raptors. If that happens, there will be a snowball effect where maybe they'll trade Siakam. If that happens, cool. You guys have a good chance of getting him. If not, your team just got worse for monetary reasons, and it sucks to be a Hawks fan right now.
Well, brighter side of things, Jalen Johnson gets to get some more burn, which I'm a fan of.
Nice. You could have had both, but great.
Yeah.
Maybe it's addition by subtraction. You never know. They're not going to be that much worse, realistically. It's just bad asset management.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on to something else. Another transaction. The Timberwolves extended Naz Reid. 3 years, $42 million.
Fire his agent.
What are they cooking?
Fire his agent, bro.
Yeah. On one hand, Naz Reid got paid. Good for him.
Yeah.
It's a steal for the Timberwolves. That's great value for somebody who I keep saying, if he was able to get a starting position, would be like, not an all-star, but like a high-level role player, like just under sub-all-star level. So to get him for that price is a steal. But they have like $140 million a year tied up in 3 centers. What are they doing?
They have to be preparing. And this is what I'm taking it as. One of those guys is getting moved, right? Either Cat or Gobert they have to get moved at this point. And I don't know. I think that they're going to go into the season next year and think that, hey, we missed 51 games of Cat. There wasn't a lot of time to gel. Let's give this core a legitimate chance to thrive. Us on the outside, right, when we're not delusional, we can see that core is not going to do anything serious. That is just for fun, right? That was the idea. That was just an idea. It was a science experiment. It's not going to work, but they're going to commit to that. They need to get Cat about the paint. That needs to happen. Fully turn the keys over to Anthony Edwards, and go get some assets back from Cat, and then we can start this rebuild. But that move is so weird that I just don't believe that a team can be. And even though that we've seen teams be that dumb, I don't think that the Timberwolves are going to be that stupid.
Yeah, I agree they should trade Cat, but let's say they don't want to trade Cat. It was that or lose Naz Reid for nothing because he was a really hot free agent target. So worst case scenario, they extended him, got him on a very tradable deal, and then this coming season they can trade him for a wing piece or whatever it needs to be. But like, what's the outcome here? Like, you let him walk for nothing, then you're not going to have cap space. You're not going to be a team that can like sign a star or anything. So no matter what you do down the line, you might as well extend him. Like you don't
exactly.
You just get worse by not doing so.
Exactly. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. You don't let Naz Reid rock, especially for that type of deal, an absolute steal of a contract, especially when it comes to his position. Like, the list of free agents is very bleak, and he was easily one of the top 3 at his position that teams were fiending for. Young, can do a lot of off the dribble stuff, undrafted. Like, he's just exactly what you want when it comes to a high quality role or starting player. And so for the Minnesota Timberwolves, I said this, I think midway or 20, 35 games into last season, that because of this Rudy Gobert trade, they're going to have to move Karl-Anthony Towns. Mm-hmm. And with the new state of the NBA and towards the end of Karl-Anthony Towns' current contract, or whenever his new thing kicks in or whatever, I think he's going to be making like $55-60 million, which is $60 million.
God.
Not out of my bank account.
And then Rudy Gobert gets 39.
That's terrible,
yeah, man.
That's awful.
Yeah. They're either going to trade Cat in the coming weeks, which there's been a lot of rumors about. I think those rumors are more like wishful thinking because everyone's like, it's the next logical step. We want to see a star traded, like get him out of here. But realistically, I think they go into next year the same and see what happens. And at the deadline, if it doesn't work out, they trade Cat. If it is working and they're pretty solid, they trade Naz Reid for a wing. I think that's kind of the play is you hold both for now because you're going to have the same rotation as last year with Naz Reid as a backup. Mm-hmm. He's overqualified for that position, but you maintain good depth. And then you move one later down the line.
That's tough. Because next year, the Western Conference, there's a couple teams that are going to be right back into the mix. And for the Timberwolves who made the play-in, there's a very, very good chance that they are out of the play-in race next year. Like, at the end of the season, And
they trade Cat.
They do. But it's funny because now, like you said, you have Naz Reid, a very good player on a tradable contract, and then you have Karl-Anthony Towns, who's not 30 yet, and you have 2 really, really tradable assets. And you might not trade either, and now you're just stuck in mid.
Yeah.
It's a weird deal.
Yeah. They could trade both, too. If the deadline comes next year and they're crap again,
really shake
they could trade Cat somewhere, get a haul for him, because he's still valuable. A team's going to convince himself that he's going to be what sets him apart. They'll get some young pieces, some picks, and they trade Naz Reid for a wing. Maybe the Trailblazers looking decent, but they need a big. They trade him for Jeremy Grant. And all of a sudden you have Rudy Gobert, Grant, Edwards, whoever get for Cat. Like, that could give them like a new timeline for a young team around Ant and still having a great center to put next to him. Like, it's weird that they have 3 bigs that they're paying good money, mm-hmm. but it gives them options.
I think the thing about this trade is that it has to be a 2-parter. Like this signing, the Naz Reid signing only makes sense, and it's only a good deal if there's another move behind it in which you can, loosen up that rotation.
Yeah.
Karl-Anthony Towns, you are going to be a Washington Wizard. The Washington Wizards, they need to go ahead and pull the trigger because, what type of motion are they going to be making alongside
You're talking.
Jordan
You're
Poole?
fuck around, get Cat, be a Hawk.
Okay, let's relax. Let's relax. That is a nightmare. I would hate
Cat for DeJounte Murray and AJ Griffin? Who says no?
Never.
We're cooking.
Never.
We're cooking.
Get him away. Get him away.
Cat and Trey pick and roll. It's pretty unguardable.
Yeah, what do they do on the defensive end? Leave me alone.
Onyeka Okongwu at the 4, mopping it up. I don't know.
No way.
Listen, you could do worse.
You could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'd rather be in the lottery.
Yeah. Before we move on to the going team by team, talking about the needs, we have 3 transactions I want to highlight real fast and move on.
Okay.
First off, Josh Hart opted into his contract. He's gonna be a Knick for 1 more year. Cool.
Yes, sir. Very
Good
happy.
player. Good place there. Good for him.
Yeah.
I hope he gets paid though. I hope they extend him because he should probably get some long-term security.
100%. I want Josh Hart on my team for a long, long time.
Nice. Next one just happened a couple hours ago. Harrison Barnes got a fat extension with the Kings, 3 years. A little bit of overpay. He's kind of cooked, but
How much is it for 3 years?
Was it 54? I actually deleted the link. I'm not sure.
It's $54 million.
Yeah.
So that's around like 18-ish a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I guess that's fine. You're not getting a whole lot from him these days. That's a fine value.
Yeah, I think that's straight. Even though in my mind I think that they probably shouldn't have done that because it's like how much more can Harrison Barnes do for your organization unless you want to maintain a level of consistency. And then,
that's what it is.
Get him out of there, cool. But
They just want the continuity. He's a big part in turning them around. There was rumors they're going after Kyle Kuzma, which we'll get to. A lot of people are. But I guess they decided to go continuity. Kuzma's probably looking elsewhere. Probably the Rockets throwing fat money at him. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Last one, the funny one. The Bulls extended Nikola Vucevic for 3 years, $60 million, and they're committed to being mid.
You listen, I have no idea what to say. They just like being where they are. And shout out to Vooch, right? 20 mil, it's pretty good. It's just it's a very Chicago Bulls contract at this point.
Yep.
They just like to be in this situation. They're probably going to be in the 9 or 10 seed again next year. They're going to be in the play-in. Maybe convince themselves that they can make some type of run. I don't know. It's just like there's not a lot of other things to do with them.
Yeah, man. This team is so fucking uninteresting. I just want to say it so we can laugh at them, but I do not care about this team whatsoever. Until they decide to trade Zach LaVine, I don't care about this team.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they just been dragging it over the last few months, and they're starting to give me like, I don't want to say it because it sounds harsh, but like Wizards vibe. Any chance that I get to like take a jab at the Wizards, I'm doing it clearly. But it makes complete sense. Like they're just dragging along this process, and they're not eating the L's that they took back when they traded away. Not Larry Marketing, but Wendell Carter Jr. in exchange for Nikola Vucevic, which at the time was like a good trade for a lot of people. But now, obviously, like development
Aged
and all
horribly.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Aged like milk.
Horrible. Yeah, man. The Bulls suck. They're going to keep sucking. Let's move on.
All right, what's next?
We're going to do the thing the title is named after. We're going to go through every NBA team and talk about the biggest need in free agency.
Let's go.
So we'll talk about specific moves they should make, holes they got to fill, all that. And I said every NBA team, but I lied. There is 10.
We are cappers.
We're cappers. I'm a clickbaiter at heart. I always will be. There is 10 teams we're going to talk about off top that we're not going to talk about because free agency just isn't that relevant to them this year. Whether they're rebuilding or don't have any moves to make, they're just not much to say. So those 10 teams are the Detroit Pistons, young core, not going to make any big splashes.
Mm-hmm.
Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs, Washington Wizards, Hornets, Nets, and Kings. The Kings are there because they just did the Harrison Barnes thing, so we know their move. They're kind of done. Other than that, they're going to retain continuity. But the rest of those teams, you get it. They're the rebuilding teams that are just going to take on bad contracts, do the normal rebuilding team thing, but they're not signing anybody that matters.
Yeah, this sounds good. I think, and out of all those teams, obviously, like the Spurs are probably the most interesting just because they have Wemby. And so, listen, we will be tapped in on Wemby Watch all year. Summer League is coming up. Those matchups are going to be very highly touted. I'm excited, but yeah, outside of that, there's nothing.
Yeah, we're good on them. For free agency talks, we're good. We're going to do the West. Let's do the Western Conference first. We'll start with that. What is the biggest need of the Dallas Mavericks in free agency?
Bodies, defense.
100%, yeah.
Depth? Are we going to call it depth?
Exactly.
Yeah, defensive depth, because I don't think that they need they don't need to go out and get guys who can just get buckets. So even it would be nice to have a lot of shooters, but obviously those are at a premium. But when your backcourt is Luka and Kyrie, you need all the defense around them to make them any type of credible. And so that should be priority one. So yeah, I would say defensive depth for the Dallas Mavericks.
I agree. So specifically on the wings, they lost Dorian Finney-Smith in that Kyrie trade, and they never recovered. They've been linked to some interesting names because they have their full mid-level exception, which means they can offer a player $12 million and it won't count against the cap. They were linked to Bruce Brown this morning. Everybody is. Everybody wants Bruce Brown. And Dylan Brooks, which it's fucking Dylan Brooks, but it's a good fit. If he's going to go somewhere for $12 million, I don't hate him on the Mavericks.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I wonder how. I'm very curious to see how Dylan Brooks integrates himself onto another team and just how he carries himself and how he moves himself. That's because he is going to be, this in and Nikhil's up here pulling up crazy pictures of Dylan Brooks. I can't focus, but he was, this forehead is crazy on here. When you guys see this, it's gonna be crazy. But Dylan Brooks is trying to be a 3-and-D guy. And kind of a culture guy. Dallas doesn't really have that. So maybe that's a plus. Maybe he's going to be able to go over there and install some type of goon into the Mavericks, which might be what they need. Yeah,
maybe it'll just be him.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I like that move overall, but just make it simple, point blank period. When I think of Dylan Brooks on the Dallas Mavericks, of course, I like that move, but I don't know why, but all of a sudden my mind just takes me back to the point to where when Dylan Brooks asked Kyrie Irving for a jersey swap and Kyrie just straight up declined that shit.
Declined it smooth, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikhil, can you pull it up, Nikhil? Can you pull up the clip? Dylan, type it in Twitter, Dylan Brooks, Kyrie Irving jersey swap or whatever.
Yeah.
He tried to do it. He just patted him on the head and walked away.
Yeah, Kyrie loves everybody, bro. He messes with everybody around the league.
I've never seen that. Nobody's ever turned down a jersey swap. That's so fucking rude. You get a new jersey every game. What was he doing with it?
Yeah, I've not.
Oh, you pulled it up. Let's watch this.
Yeah,
okay, Dylan takes it off.
This is crazy. He was expecting to swap the jersey. And then Kyrie just doesn't look. He's like, nah, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it.
He just walks away. He doesn't give him the chance.
Yeah.
That is a seasoned
Dylan, you really
bet.
Want to go to that?
That's a seasoned bet for Kyrie. That's how you know. He's been in the game a long time. He knows who to give his jersey to. Good for him.
If Dylan Brooks wants to instill some dog on a team, that's the wrong team in Texas. He needs to go to the Houston Rockets. Immaculate, perfect fit, so they can stop all dumbass basketball.
No. If you're trying to stop stupid basketball, Dylan Brooks is not your guy. He is not the one, right? You need to get somebody. And listen, for the Rockets, and I know.
Let's talk about them.
Okay, real quick. For the Rockets, their main need, you need either two things. You either need to have been in the league for 6 years, or you need to be 30 and older. All they need is adults.
6 years?
All they need is adults. They have so many young kids. Their young core is huge. Their starting lineup next year could be Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, whoever you put in at the 3, Jabari Smith Jr. and Şengün. That is 4 young guys. Get some adults in the building, please.
Yep.
Please.
And know what's funny? They agree. We've seen them be linked to every fucking adult on the free agency market. They're going after Brook Lopez to be their backup center, I guess. They're going after Kyle Kuzma, which Chris Haynes reported today. They're the leader in the clubhouse to get Kuzma. I guess he could be that starting 3 next to Jabari Smith. I like that. And it's been reported that they're going to throw $40 million a year at Fred VanVleet.
Frederico. Oh, my goodness.
And listen, 2 years, $86 million is a reported deal to come be that point guard to keep them in line and be the adult.
That's crazy.
Look, they got the money to blow. They're not going to use it. So a short-term deal to come let this guy be the adult in the room and run the team as a point guard, I like it.
It's a smart move. Those numbers just sound absolutely absurd for Fred VanVleet, the dude who couldn't even shoot 40% from the field. But hey, it is what it is. And with the type of player that he is and just fit on the court, I think he fits seamlessly onto this roster.
Oh, yeah.
Player who was undrafted. He was an NBA champion. He was an all-star. Dude's been through it in the league, played in the G League and all that. Like, he's the exact type of personality that you'd want to instill into the Houston Rockets.
Exactly,
and all these young boys over there.
He's had a grind.
It's worth it.
He's had a grind for everything he's gotten, and they're a team full of high lottery picks who probably have this entitled young guy attitude. So you bring in the adult in the room who is the complete opposite. Nobody believed in his ass. He looks like he's on the court. He looks like me. He looks like he's 5'6". Like he is not Jalen Green. I'll tell you that.
He is not. But listen, if you give Fred VanVleet, Drake's tether, $86 million to live in Houston, that whole team, listen, team chemistry will be at an all-time high. They will be running the city of Houston at night every single night that there is not a basketball game. It's going to be insane.
You know, it's a good fit. It's a good fit, like X's and O's wise too, because he can do a little bit of on-ball point guard stuff. That's what he's been doing with the Raptors the past couple of years. But he was at his best when he was next to Kyle Lowry, and he was like the shooting guard off-ball. And this team has Sengun, who they're going to run some offense through. He's a passing hub. They have Jalen Green, who has some on-ball chops. Amen Thompson, who's a great passer. So Fred VanVleet can come in and run the offense and keep them in line as the adult, but also play next to these guys and give them the on-ball reps they need to develop and probably be better in that role.
And with Ime as the coach, they have Houston, even if they don't get VanVleet or Kuzma or whatever, they have a very, very promising future ahead of them with this core. And like you said, now that Amen is there. So I think, okay, out of those two, which one would you guys rather want? Would you guys rather want Fred or
Fred? Easy.
Okay.
Yeah. They have so many wing options. They just drafted Cam Whitmore, number 20. They have Tari Eason. They have KPJ is going to go back to being a shooting guard. Jalen Green.
Kenyon Martin still, or
Kenyon Martin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think they need that point guard. Eventually, it's going to be a man. Hopefully, he develops into a true point guard. But I like having a guy there to not force a man to do that right away. They can let him develop and play next to Fred on and off ball. And just like I said, Fred's the perfect fit culture wise. Like they need him.
Quick question: what is Kevin Porter Jr. doing right now? Is he still part of that roster?
He is asking.
He'll be a bench guy.
He's asking to stay there because he wants to be in the league. He's begging for a spot.
He can put him in a. So we make fun of him a lot because like he shouldn't be the starting point guard, but he's a good shooter. He can create off the dribble a little bit. He should be a shooting guard. They should kill the point guard experiment and let him be their backup too, and he'll be a valuable player. He can be a valuable player in some way, just not the way they're using him now.
Just dump him in the Wizards, man. Swear to God. Like anything.
You just want to send everybody to DC.
Him and Jordan Poole.
Send him to Washington.
Him and Jordan Poole. Letting them cook.
That would be a crazy bag.
That'd be crazy. All right, let's move on to the next team.
Insane.
Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. What is the biggest need of the Golden State Warriors this offseason?
Draymond Green.
Retaining him?
They need him. They need him. He's been the key to their entire defensive infrastructure for this entire run, and it's like he may not fit on a lot of other teams, but he fits in Golden State, and they need him. And especially now that you traded Jordan Poole, you have made the decision clear. We would rather Draymond than him. Now it's time to pay up and keep him on the squad.
Yeah, I agree. It's literally that simple. You can't let Draymond walk, and they're not going to, right? Like something would have to go crazy wrong for him to be on another team next year.
Yeah, it would have to be a disrespectful offer.
And Mo, are you comfortable paying Draymond Green what he wants? Like, he's gonna want pretty much a max deal.
As long as that max deal aligns like right when Steph's max deal ends and stuff like that, it can't elongate Steph and Clay's like deal. Like I'd give him a max, but I'm not gonna give him anything OD that'll attach him to my roster. When it's like, okay, dude, like you're at the same age as Udonis Haslem, or you're pushing that age, you can't move like that. There's only so much that your voice can do to my locker room and do to my players on the court. So I would definitely give it to him. He deserves it. He's a big part of he's literally like the hub of their defense and one of the key parts to their offense. So he's definitely worth it. And he's earned and deserved that title over the last few years.
For sure. They're also going to have to replenish a little bit of wing depth because Dante DiVincenzo's probably out of there. So they're going to have to replace him. And, they're already lacking depth a little bit last year. Jonathan Kuminga looks like it's just not going to work out with this team. Maybe they're going to trade him. He's been on the market. So they have some holes outside of just bringing Draymond back. They've also been linked to trying to get a stretch big. People talk about them trying to get Porzingis, Brook Lopez, etc. But the problem is I don't really know what that path is because they don't have a lot of flexibility at all.
Yeah. They're really going to have to. This is kind of the last chance that they have for this young core. Like they're gonna put a lot on Moses Moody's plate he seems to be out of all the young guys between Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, who's gone, and him. Moody was the one who kind of seemed like they trusted the most. And so I think he's probably going to get one more chance because he came out in Summer League last year and looked really, really good. And it looked like he was taking a leap. And Steve Kerr, he only likes him apparently out of the young core. And I think that he's probably going to get the most run and he's going to get the most opportunity, at least early on in the year, to kind of fill that. And
GP2 said this last year.
I mean, listen, GP2's back for a full season. He had an offseason to get healthy, so he's probably going to get a lot of minutes as well. So I think that, like you said, they don't have a lot of flexibility. They have to turn internal for a lot of these holes.
Yeah. You know who I want to see them add to the roster? Mo Bamba. I think if
you're
looking for scraps and pennies, like Mo Bamba is literally that. Got waived by the Lakers, I think, today. Type of youngish player who is in the same mold of the type of players that you want to add to this roster. Give it a shot. Give it a swing. If it doesn't work out, who cares? Because it's Mo Bamba.
True.
Yeah. That's a good transition. Let's talk about the Lakers. As you said, today was a deadline for guaranteeing contracts that are non-guaranteed. So the Lakers waived Mo Bamba and Malik Beasley. So that puts them in a position now where they can still retain Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura because they're restricted, so they can match anything. They have a small cap hold. That's going to be the last thing they do, but they're going to match any offer for those guys. They still have D'Angelo Russell's cap hold, so they can match him to a certain extent. Obviously, they're not going to pay him anything crazy, but they can bring him back still. But even with doing all that, waiving those two guys allowed them to use a full mid-level exception, so they can offer a full $12 million to a guy, similar to what we said with the Mavericks. So, what is the Lakers' biggest need?
I mean, is it Bruce Brown? Is Bruce Brown the type of player that they need? Obviously, and the Lakers seem to have this mentality, but retaining Austin Reeves is option. That is priority one.
Yep, I was gonna say that it's running it back and finding continuity for the first time. That's their biggest priority.
Yeah,
exactly. And on top of that, me personally, I would like to see another stable or either one or two centers that you can run on a consistent basis alongside Anthony Davis. But first, obviously, I think you have to keep Austin Reeves with the leaps and this true, I don't want to say star or borderline. You could say probably borderline, very fringe all-star shades that he's shown.
He's a high-level role player. We don't got to go crazy.
High-level role player, whatever, cool. They need to keep him.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless an obnoxious bag is thrown at him.
Even then, he's a restricted free agent. They're going to match him regardless. Unless somebody offers him $40 million a year, which I don't even know if you can with his structure, they're going to keep him. And like I said, I'm interested to hear what Donovan thinks, what you said about adding centers next to AD. Because, like I said, priority one, maintaining continuity. Two, with that mid-level exception, there's been a lot of reports that they're linked to Bruce Brown. Apparently, that's real. There's a good chance they get him. I would love that, obviously. That allows them to roll out a lineup of Bruce Brown at the 3, LeBron at the 4, or vice versa, and AD at the 5. That can be their bread and butter with Reeves and D'Lo. Cool. But there's been a lot of debate on the timeline on Twitter about should AD play more 4 with the center next to him. Mo said he likes that. How do you feel about that, Donovan? Because for years we were trying to say AD should be a full-time 5. Now everyone's kind of maybe he was cooking with the whole I want to be power forward thing.
No. They should stick him at the 5. I think what Anthony Davis showed last year playing at the 5, it unlocked a huge Anthony Davis just had a legendary defensive postseason run at the 5. Sure. And you are going to be able to have him there and have other people who are probably a little bit more mobile at the 4 roaming around because you know that you have AD as your anchor. And so for AD, who has a very long injury history, I don't want him moving around, cutting back and forth, right? Playing this Giannis role of I have to kind of be everywhere and roam free safety. You stand in one spot and you have one job and make sure that nobody scores at the rim. And that's where that's where you'll be. We can have everybody else kind of roam around.
My thing is with my thinking is I'm thinking about the teams that you're going to have to go through, which is again probably the Denver Nuggets. And every single team that the Denver Nuggets ran through in the playoffs didn't have a quality bunch of big bodies to throw at Nikola Jokic. And the last time that an NBA team did was the Lakers back in the 2020 like bubble Western Conference Finals, you know? And so that recipe, I don't want to, like, obviously they had a lot of other great things cooking well, but having Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and Anthony Davis in that mix, it was also, like, it did play as a big strength for them too. So
for sure.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Nikhil, can you pull up the list of NBA free agents and show us the centers?
That's cool.
That's a good point because I agree. AD should be the starting center for the Lakers. They should keep dating this formula. But they need a backup center because their backup centers this year, Wenyen Gabriel, Mo Bamba, who's gone, and they gave Tristan Thompson minutes in the Western Conference Finals. So they need a backup minutes, though. Yeah, he had a great 4 minutes in that game. But they need a backup center of some sort. And
look, that's true. But like, here's my thing: if Anthony Davis can't stop Nikola Jokic, or if he can't slow him down, I'm not trusting anybody else in the league to do it. And so you might as well keep AD at the 5. And like Isaac said, just try to get some other bodies in there so that he doesn't have to play so many minutes at the 5. If you want to switch him back and forth, cool. But we're going through the list. Would you rather have Mason Plumlee guarding Nikola Jokic? Like, would you rather have Bismack Biyombo or something like that? Like, would you have those types of guys guarding Jokic or Anthony Davis?
It doesn't matter. They're all cooked no matter which way you put it. Like, they're all done.
That's the point. And so if you're going to be cooked regardless, then you should be doing what's best for you and your team and not trying to set your scheme up against one other team who has who has the guy who's won two MVPs out of the last 3.
It's a mix of both, though. Like,
yeah,
there needs to be somebody. They need to have a capable center who can play when Anthony Davis isn't on the court.
Exactly. You want to build yourself to be as versatile as possible, while also paying attention to, like, who's running this league right now. So it's a little bit of both. I don't think they should like go all out and make that their number one top priority. That would be insane. But throw a Mason Plumlee on this team. That'll be nice. Them dribble moves. I like Mason Plumlee's bag. I like the passes that he be throwing.
That's nasty. I think that's Mason Plumlee bag. That's disgusting.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about. It's there.
Nah. So Nikhil just pulled up, or he's currently pulling up the list of the centers. You guys mentioned Mason Plumlee. I like Mason Plumlee. They're gonna have the biannual exception, which that's more than enough to get Mason Plumlee. And look at these names: Brook Lopez, they're not gonna be able to afford him. Jakob Poeltl, not gonna be able to afford him. Christian Wood doesn't answer any of these problems. Bring Thomas Bryant back. Like, there's not a lot of good centers on the market.
The closest one that you can get that's unrestricted like that is the guy that I just said, Bismack Biyombo. And do you really want Bismack Biyombo running your 5 like that when you're trying to make these deep runs into the playoffs? Nothing moves me when we're talking about this. When we're talking about like the centers that are available for the Lakers. So you might as well give AD the job and then try and fill the minimal minutes where he's going to be out with somebody else instead of moving him to 4.
But they definitely need somebody though, because Mo Bamba's gone. Like, Thomas Bryant's gone. Like, they need a body. I don't know who that is. It might be Mason Plumlee. I think I kind of like that.
I love it. Y'all sleep.
They got Bruce Brown with the mid-level exception, Mason Plumlee with the biannual exception. Yeah, they're cooking. Bring everybody else back.
Y'all sleep on Plum Dog.
All right, let's move on to the next team. What is the Pelicans' biggest need in free agency?
Ooh.
I don't even know. NDAs. I don't know, man. Like, they for real, for I guess the last 2 years, regardless of the roster construction, their biggest need has been Zion's health, and they need him to be on the floor. And until then, and like, this may seem like a cop out, but you really don't know what you have until you can get a full year of Zion on the floor, and you can't like. I guess for them, let's get an actual point guard. I would like to see them get a for real point guard instead of CJ running the point. He did a decent job, but he probably needs to be off the team. You can get somebody who can run the offense a little bit more.
Did y'all see when Nikhil just pulled up?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw.
Zariah.
Yo, that is absolutely insane,
And
man.
This is why you need the NBA. So they're gonna need lawyers. They're gonna need a lot of stuff this offseason. Because this can't happen. For 82 games, this can't happen.
Somebody put Mariah Mills in a straitjacket. She needs help.
Goodness gracious,
realistically, the Pelicans' biggest need, I think, is to get rid of Jonas Valanciunas. Not because he's bad, but they need a center who can be more of a defensive presence next to Zion and Ingram. And there's been rumors that they're trying to get Jared Allen, which I think would be fantastic if they can pull it off somehow. But I didn't really think about it before I saw that report, but I think before last year we said there's too many ball handlers, not enough defense in the starting lineup. And there's signs that it can be good enough. Like, they were good when they were healthy, but I still don't think Jonas is the best fit.
Yeah, exactly. I think we said it earlier in the season when they were struggling just a tad bit, and then they shot up to the number 1 seed. But still, I still feel this way. They probably have too many cooks in the kitchen. They have so many quality players. They're loaded with picks and stuff like that. And so if I were them, I would try to make minimum moves and put the type of players that you would like to see around Zion, but at a lower scale. So if you want, try to get the highest quality defensive center or power forward or whatever way you want to put it next to him and see what that looks like. I don't think they should go ahead and try to cash in on anything that doesn't fit necessarily 100% well. And I think that's the only thing that they can do, because when they were all healthy, they were quite literally the number 1 seed, and peeps like me are over here pushing the Zion for MVP propaganda. So
Yeah. I don't think free signings is going to be their biggest deal this offseason. I think it's going to be a trade. They have a lot of pieces there. There's reports that they're trying to trade Kira Lewis, who I'm not even sure I've ever seen play basketball. He's barely in the rotation. I feel like I've seen him on the court, but I don't know anything about his game. He has not gotten the run needed on this team. Yeah, he's just. I remember him being drafted, and I can't remember a moment since from him on this team.
He was supposed to be the needle mover, man, but health got in the way. It is what it is.
But I think trading for a center that fits their core is the biggest need, I think. Or if it's not a trade, just finding a defensive center of some sort to give them lineup versatility.
I agree.
It's not Jackson Hayes.
Shout out to him, though. He's nice.
Next team. What's the Memphis Grizzlies' biggest need in free agency?
Golly. I mean,
that's tough because they have a lot of pieces.
Yeah, they got rid of Dylan Brooks. They told him he's not coming back. And they exchanged Tyus Jones for Marcus Smart, who kind of replaces Dylan Brooks. So maybe it's backup point guard to replace Tyus Jones?
Maybe that. Maybe some more wing creation. I think I don't know.
They got Zaire Williams though, who's been one
promising.
of their better kept secrets.
Yeah, they think they need a wing defender though. They were trying to get OG really hard. They need a big wing defender, and now that you have Dylan Brooks gone, that's even less wing size. So I don't know if it's wing creation per se, but definitely wing depth, a high level wing.
I would. The only reason why I would say creation is because I don't think that. We saw the Celtics try to put Marcus Smart at the point guard position, and although he did that admirably, I don't think that you want that for the Grizzlies moving forward. Obviously, once Ja comes back, I can't focus. These tweets are coming up. I can't focus. Anyways,
this is so fun. Did y'all see this? I'm glad you pulled this up. This kid has an arm sleeve as a 4th grader.
No, we're
talking about John Morant's a role model. We're talking about John Morant's a role model. This is what we meant.
This is what we were talking about, bro. I saw a tweet that literally gave me a
flashback
from hell.
Oh my goodness! Listen, between this and Baby Gronk, these parents are getting out of hand, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we need to get John Morant a life coach.
What happened to the silly bands, man? What happened to collecting Bakugans and stuff like that, man? This world is a shambles.
Nah, man.
These kids are smoking Black and Milds.
What happened to the game I loved? This is crazy.
Oh my god, bro.
We used to be a proper country.
I don't even want to talk about Memphis anymore because now I'm just gonna associate them with tatted up 4th graders, man. Let's move on. Who's next?
Yeah. They need a needle mover at the 3. That's their biggest need. Maybe it's gonna be OG again. They open those talks if the Raptors blow it up. I would love for it to be OG, but they need some type of a 3 that's gonna be a long-term presence in this lineup. in this core.
Yeah. Also, maybe a backup 4 because Brandon Clark's going to be out for like the majority of the season probably as well. So
yeah. So is that Santi Aldama's name I'm hearing?
Oh, he's nice. Maybe they don't need him actually.
Ish. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next team. What is the Phoenix Suns' biggest need in free agency?
Bodies. They need bodies. That's just it. They just need bodies.
What position? Because they do need bodies for sure. And I think it's pretty clear what position.
One, they need a starting point guard. Then they need a backup 1, backup 2, backup 3, backup 4, backup 5. A new coach. Like, they need everything.
So they need a bench. They need a new bench in its entirety.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so we'll just say bench depth. I think that's pretty clear. Their biggest need is luck. They need to hope that some decent players will take minimum contracts to go there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant running a 3-on-1 fast break, and Cam Payne is making the decision on where the ball goes. Come on, man.
All right, Nikhil, pull up the list of free agents again. Let's go position by position and figure out who is going to be on the Suns bench.
Please.
While he's pulling that list up, rumor.
I can give them 5 minutes, and I can. This is ridiculous.
All right, so let's go point guard first. Yeah, let's look at guards because I think they're going to go point Booker and start Booker, Beal, KD, maybe Torrey Craig, and Ayton. Let's assume that. So their backup 1 is probably going to be Cam Payne. Who's going to be their backup 2?
Didn't they just trade for someone from the Wizards who's actually pretty nice?
Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah.
So maybe him and Cam Payne are the backcourt.
It's not terrible.
Eric Gordon has been linked to them for a while. Maybe he'll take a low pay cut to come ring chase. I can see Eric Gordon on the team.
Okay.
Good fit.
Who else?
Okay, that's their guards. Let's look at forwards now, Nikhil. This is the hard part because they need a lot.
Stanley Johnson, bring him on.
Yeah, they brought Stanley Johnson and Jabari Parker in for workouts.
Yeah.
We're in 2023. Do you understand the sentence that you just said? We're talking about 2023, and you just said Jabari Parker got a workout.
They're in hell.
Might as well bring in Michael Beasley. Do that.
Like, look at these names. If you scroll down a little bit, maybe they get Derek Jones.
That would be actually nice.
Kevin Knox.
Kill me now.
All right, let's relax.
I mean, who do they have?
They're gonna bring back Torrey Craig. They can get a Derek Jones. They could get a Torian Prince, perhaps.
This is making me upset. It is because it really didn't make any sense to go at another guy who does the same thing that your other 2 top guys do. Now you have no point guard. You have no depth. What have you done? This is Isaiah Thomas's fault. This is his fault.
Yeah, man.
They did what they're supposed to, I guess, man.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing.
Next team. What is the biggest need of the Portland Trailblazers?
A plan. They don't know what they're doing.
Direction. A backbone.
They have no idea what's going on. They don't know what they're cooking.
No, the biggest need of the Portland Trailblazers is a Damian Lillard trade. They need to fucking commit and get rid of him.
Yeah, I need. What's the Blazers GM? His last name Cronin or something like that.
Yeah, is it Joe Cronin?
Jim Cronin. Send him a King of the Fourth Quarter video ASAP, because it doesn't take that much brain power to go ahead and just throw Damian Lillard on the market, bro. Throw Anthony Simons if you want on the market or something. Something needs to happen.
Yeah,
I can't think of a free agent or anything like that that'll fix this team whatsoever.
I think it's either you trade Damian Lillard or you trade Anthony Simons. I think they have to clear up that backcourt depth right now. Because Scoot needs keys of some sort. They can't let Scoot rot away as a 6th man for too long. And Anthony Simons doesn't deserve the bench either. So if you commit to a rebuild, you can start Simons and Scoot together, which would be weird, but it could do it. Or if you're going to commit to building around Damian Lillard, they need to trade Simons for a wing of some sort. Or a center upgrade, because Nurkic sucks.
I would if I were them, I would probably go with the wing. I would try and get something, and then you just live with Nurk when Nurk is there.
Just live with Nurk. Great.
Yeah, he's fine.
Who amongst us has not lived with Nurk? Yeah, but there's like not much to say about this team. They're so like in the mud.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's just tired about talking to him, bro.
Yes, the way Isaac feels about the Bulls, that's how I feel about the Blazers. I actively run from any Trailblazers content that I see on my timeline. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, man. We need to get Chris Haynes. He needs to delete Damian Lillard's number. That's the biggest need this season is Damian Lillard needs to block Chris Haynes. Next up, what is the biggest need of the Clippers?
They need a point guard. They need to figure out. We're either.
Is it not Russ?
Even Russ. I
think they should retain Russ. I think Russ has been solid for them. Yes. He was legitimately good after he went there. It was a crazy sign to see after he was so awful with the Lakers. But it's good for both parties to retain Russ, I think. It was good for him, for sure.
I think, I don't know. I still think that they can use a little, maybe a backup point. Maybe that's what I'm talking about.
I agree.
They can get some more help at the center position because like Zubac he's Zubac, you know. Like he's not moving the needle in any direction. So
no, he's good. They just need somebody behind him, I think.
He's Zubac.
I like Zubac.
He's nice. You're sleeping on him. You're sleeping on him.
No. I'm not saying he's trash, but he's just Zubac. Like that's just what he is. Right. You know,
he's not like hugely impactful. He's not moving the needle, as we'd say.
Yeah, he does his job. He does his job well, right? But you need another 5, probably another backup point, and that's probably it.
Mo, do you want them to trade for James Harden? Would that be a biggest need? Do you think they should make that move?
If I'm them, your future is already pretty much your future is quite literally in shambles. Sooner or later, in contract negotiations, contract extensions, talks are going to have to start between Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And as you referred to earlier in this episode, Isaac, oh boy, already had a conversation with Paul George about him not playing games and missing games and how the Clippers is overall a disappointment. So they just need to start honing in for now, and also for now, of course, but also the future. That's all you need to focus on at this point. And so throw out some if you're going to invest into the Clippers, they need some low investment type players. Focus on the young core, second half of the future, bro.
So you want them to kind of run it back and not trade for a James Harden type?
Yeah, exactly. Like when we saw them against the Phoenix Suns, if Kawhi Leonard would have stayed healthy, I ain't gonna lie, I think they do probably win that series. Kawhi was just that level of different. And we're talking about the Clippers winning that series without Paul George too. So I just think that you run it back. There's nothing else you can do. Don't force the James Harden thing.
I think their biggest need is to make a blood oath with some deity that can grant them 3 wishes, and all 3 of which will be centered around health.
Yeah,
a blood oath.
Very simple plan.
Yeah. You just got to find a witch, a warlock, anything you can do. Any religion out there that you feel like can grant you the power needed to keep those knees healthy. Fully embark upon that journey.
Get the Illuminati on line 1.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The Lazarus pit, the Illuminati, something.
Go down to New Orleans, voodoo,
whatever it needs to
Please.
be. Put a extraterrestrial, whatever you need to do, some type of powers on Kawhi Leonard's knees.
Please.
Yeah, exactly. The league needs it. The streets need it.
All right, next up, we got 2 teams left in the Western Conference. What is the biggest need of the Portland? The wrong team. What is the biggest need of the Minnesota Timberwolves?
A Karl-Anthony Towns trade. We talked about it earlier. They are muddled up at the top. That their front court really has no direction. It seems kind of clear that Ant should be the guy. Let's get a cat trade. Let's start the next era of this team and let's move on.
Yeah, I more specifically, I think it's a point guard to pair with Anthony Edwards. I think they need a new point. Mike Conley's good for now, but that's not gonna, kick the tires on Mike Conley for too many more years.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was literally gonna say the exact same thing. Mike Conley, of course. I think they need to figure out ways to keep Jaden McDaniels when his time comes, and just focus on what needs to happen in the future, similar to the Portland Trailblazers. There's not much that you can do now. Just focus on the future and put yourself in the right position to do those things. Don't screw yourself over in the short term.
Yeah. I just realized you're wearing a Memphis shirt. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. As I'm walking around in these streets of New York, some lady was like, "Oh, go Grizzlies." And I'm like, "Thanks." I'm like, bro, I'm not a Grizzlies fan.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? Like,
Great.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
All right, man. Let's do the last team in the West to wrap up this side of the bracket. What is the biggest need of the Denver Nuggets in free agency?
I would say Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown. Run it back. It's gonna take a lot because a lot of teams are offering the bag at him, and I don't know if he's gonna wanna do they have their full mid-level exception to offer?
Nope.
No,
the
right?
most they can offer him is $7.8 million.
Yeah, so he's probably gone. So you better tug on every single emotional string that he has and try to get him to stay. But they're gonna need. I would like for them to keep Bruce Brown in some capacity.
If they don't keep Bruce Brown, then they need to either A, find the next Bruce Brown type replacement, or B, maybe they already have that in the rookie now going on sophomore Braun. So they just need to keep on
Brown
doing
for
what
Brown.
they're doing. Yeah, exactly. Just need to keep on doing what they're doing. Player development and all that good stuff. I don't really think they have like a. I don't think they have anything really that they need.
No, they don't. They have a great roster. It's like you said, they're great at seeing what's happening with the CBA and knowing they need to replenish depth over the long term. That's why they traded for another late first round pick in the draft. And they have a lot of young guys who are hoping to be the next out of pop. It's just do what you did with Brown, like Donovan said. Find the guy on the minimum contract out there that is a value add that you can come in and hope he can turn into something else. Find that Malik Monk that the Lakers had a couple years ago. Just see who you can find for the minimum that can be a difference maker for 1 year.
Yep.
Simple stuff.
Let's get to the East, man. We
Let's get
got
to the East.
Let's switch
First,
sides.
What is the biggest need of the Boston Celtics?
Point guard.
Still.
Someone who can actually facilitate for real on a consistent basis, because Derek White is phenomenal. He's a great player, but he's not the type of player who fixes the Boston Celtics a number one need by far. So they need an actual guard.
They got a lot better, not a lot better, but they got better with the Kristaps Porzingis trade and reconfiguring their team by shipping Marcus Smart out the door. But before that trade, we were all saying that the team's biggest weakness is they have no passers, no playmakers. It's been the thing for years. And they lost their only above-average playmaker. He was barely above average, but he was solid, and now he's gone for a guy in KP who was probably one of the worst passers in the NBA for all his strengths.
Yeah.
It's an issue that's been exasperated, and I don't really know what the path is to get better there. But if they go into next year being the worst passing team in the NBA, it's going to be ugly.
It is.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
is. They've made a decision that they are leaning on Jason Tatum to take another step in his development and be a great passer. That's what they think is going to happen.
Wrong choice.
That's what they think, and that's what they're putting their chips on the table for. So we've said it. We've said it a million times. Point guard, and that's it.
Wrong choice.
Yeah. The video that Isaac posted, hopefully the link will be in the bio again, is aging like wine, and I think that will continue to age like wine. Even though Kristaps Porzingis got thrown into this roster, I think everything that you said in that video and their like deep flaws because of the way their team's structured, like everything still holds very true. And so until that issue is fixed and addressed, like I don't want to say they're done, they're cooked or anything like that, because we still haven't seen how they looked like with Porzingis. But like the reason why they're out of the playoffs is still not fixed.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have the same issues deep in the playoffs where offense is going to become extremely difficult because everything is, go get his ass. It's all straight ISOs. It's not no
go get his ass.
There's no organization and nobody's making it easier for the guys next to him.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Brad Stevens, though. I mean,
shout out to who's that dog?
Yeah. So you heard go get his ass. He's doing his job, Isaac.
But Nikhil just pulled up a Donovan tweet. Jaylen Brown can't go left, and now Marcus Smart has to babysit Ja. It's an evil world.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's awful. Yeah. Listen, they need a point guard for real. That's it. Like we said a million times, nobody on that team can pass. Nobody is great. Nobody can set the table. And when you get into the playoffs and you get into like real half-court basketball and people need to make stuff happen, you need your bucket getters to get buckets, and they can't be worried about getting everybody else involved.
Yep.
Let me know when they want to trade for DeJounte Murray.
I kind of want them to. I kind of like that. I think he'd be a good
That would be
fit.
A beautiful fit. Yeah. Jaylen Brown for DeJounte Murray. Let's do it.
DeJounte Murray plus everything else you got for Jaylen Brown.
Thank you.
He can't. Whatever, man. All right, we'll talk later about that.
Well, that transitions us. Let's talk about the Hawks. What is the Hawks' biggest need in free agency?
The Hawks. Yeah, I think before this season, and I think I really at the start of the 2022 season, our roster was pretty much solidified, and this is the stereotypical roster that you want, all surrounded around Trae Young. Everybody's big, can shoot, plus defenders, or at least above average or plus defenders around Trae Young. So now that, things are a little bit discombobulated, they just need to rework their entire offense because things are broken. Like you said at the start of the season, DeJounte Murray, ball in his hands, not a good cutter, and all this other shit. It's holds to be true along the type of point guard that Trae Young is. And so offense needs to be really reworked, or you need to get off of DeJounte Murray so you can commit to Trae Young ball and just live with it.
Okay. What about you, Donovan?
No, I agree. I think that they're in a position now, especially with John Collins gone, they can free up a lot of their guys in the front court, and they also need direction. I think that they're another team last year where with that trade, I think they were kind of reaching and they were just let's see if we can get anybody that's available, another big name, and the fit wasn't great. It wasn't fantastic. So I think what Mo said is 100% right. They need to figure out if they can get something for DeJounte Murray to really center their team and center their offense around Trae Young.
Exactly. Something I really want to see them trade for Pascal Siakam. I think just the thought of it, if I'm popping on 2K, the thought of it is beautiful. But at the same time, if Trae's going to continue to play the same way that he usually plays, and if we still have DeJounte on the roster, that's going to be super ugly. So this team has deep issues.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's just mix it up. They have a lot of good parts. This team has a lot to work with. Even after getting rid of John Collins for nothing, they have they got rid of some of their picks to get DeJounte, so they don't have the most draft assets. But in terms of players, they have a lot to move around. And like I say, it's just a different look. I'm not even sure what that look is, what route they want to go, but some type of change, I think.
To be honest with you, also to tack onto this, DeAndre Hunter, he probably has to go. He is the stereotypical type of person that you'd want alongside Trae Young, but he has holes in his game. One of them is he's just not him. If you watched him play against Jason Tatum treated him as if he was Trae Young. He didn't know what to do. It's like DeAndre Hunter saw a ghost, and then there's that, and then offensively, he can dribble the ball a little bit and get into his mid-range bag and sometimes get to the rim. But, I don't want to say he's a black hole, but there's not enough connectivity there in our offense. And he has, there's a hole there that's serious. And with the type of player that Trae Young is and the whole infrastructure of the Hawks, it's not going to work. It's good in it's good in theory, but when you're actually doing the math and running back the footage, there's just clear holes with that. So DeAndre got to go, and I think he's a good value.
Yeah, he'll help a team that doesn't need passing from his position. He can go be Aaron Gordon for somebody to a far worse degree.
Yeah, it just can't be for us, sadly.
All right, guys. What is the biggest need of the Chicago Bulls? You have 30 seconds to answer before we move on to the next team.
I refuse to answer. I'm just done. I'm talking about. No, I'm playing. I don't know. I think they are also a team that needs direction, but for them, they also need a point guard. I'm not I would assume he's okay, but he's not great. The Lonzo Ball.
Your 30 seconds is up.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Point guard.
30 seconds. Go.
Rebuild. Lonzo can't walk. It's okay. He can just stay around and collect the vibes. Other than that, keep P. Will, keep IO, keep Lonzo. Everything else should be on the block, to be honest with you, bro.
That was a very tight 30 seconds. Good job. On to the next team. What is the Cavaliers' biggest need in free agency?
Somebody who can shoot threes. Please.
Yep, exactly. From the small forward position to be exact.
Please. Yes. They need somebody to replace Isaac Okoro at the 3, and they need to be able to shoot threes. And if they can do that, they will be fine moving forward.
Also, you need to give Evan Mobley a meal plan, too. The serious meal plan this time around. Because the way the boys with Mitchell Robinson was throwing around, good God, it was looking terrible, bro.
Yeah, they need to get Evan Mobley some Premier Protein to drink every morning.
Yeah.
Give him some egg whites. Get some grilled chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole milk.
Zoop them thighs up, man.
Yeah. There's been a lot of rumors that they're potentially trading Jared Allen, which I don't want them to trade Jared Allen, but I don't hate it because the simple thing is they have two bigs that can't shoot, which is really fucking hard to build around these days. Damn near impossible to win at the highest level with two bigs that can't shoot. So unless Evan Mobley is going to stretch his range out of nowhere, Jared Allen might be the odd man out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think you might want to try to run it back and give it another year just to see how far along Evan Mobley's shooting can get to. But if they're shopping or have the idea of shopping Jared Allen, in my mind, that's damn near, I don't want to say brilliant, but it's a good move because you're accepting the type of player that you have and you're not trying to force him to become something that he's not. You're trying to switch up his you're not trying to switch up his archetype and envision him as something that's not realistic, like what the Boston Celtics are doing with the like what the Boston Celtics are trying to do with Jason Tatum. So I think it's actually a good move.
Yeah, I just don't know if Evan Mobley's ready to be a 5 yet. Like you said, he's not an interior bruiser. Like, it's possible he'll get there eventually, but I kind of like him as the 4.
Yeah, they like Mo said, they got thrown around, so they're gonna have to they're gonna have to figure out how to. I think for them, really figure out how to translate what they do in the regular season into the postseason and make sure that they can keep the same structure. They've had some talks about moving Darius Garland. I don't think that they're.
I think that was fake news.
That was fake news. That was completely fake news.
Yeah. So it's whatever.
Completely unsubstantiated.
Yeah. So that's the Jared Allen stuff is cool though. If they can get somebody who can shoot, that's really the moral of the story. They just need more shooting from whatever position they can get it from. They need people who can hit threes.
Exactly. Let's talk about the team that tossed them around. What's the biggest need of the New York Knicks?
They need another
Donovan Cook.
They need another playmaker.
ISO.
Exactly. they need another playmaker. I think right now a lot is on Jalen Brunson's plate, and the two things that you're hoping from is either another jump from RJ Barrett or Julius Randle to be consistent, and those two things are they're very hard to ask. They're very big asks. So
it's antithetical to who they are as people.
Exactly. So they're going to need some more pieces around him that can actually create and knock down shots. And so if they can go get somebody, I honestly I don't know who they would get at this point, but
Harden.
No, stop that.
Hey, you said you want a playmaker. All I hear is
you're describing him.
They can get one of the best playmakers in the world.
Not him.
Honestly,
not him. But yeah, I would if I was the Knicks, I would put a premium on playmaking this offseason.
Okay. How are you? I mean, Quickly's up to get paid. Are you wanting to invest in Quickly?
Yes,
Mr. 9 figures.
I would.
9-figure deal.
I would. I like. Wait, 9. Okay, not 9 figures, but I like Emmanuel Quickly a lot.
4 years, $100 million. Is that too rich for your blood? 25 years. But that's a lot for Emmanuel Quickly.
That is that is
too much.
For $25 million a year for your backup point guard.
20 max, and that's still pushing it. I'm feeling a solid 18 million a year for Emmanuel Quickly.
Yeah, 25 is a bit much.
Yeah. How do you feel about Obi Toppin? You want him out of there? You want to free him?
Ooh. Well, I do want to free him, but that requires us firing Tibbs. So,
and that's free him. Like trade him. Like give him a home that'll use him.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with him. I want him around. I'd rather.
Bastard. Why would you want him around?
I'd rather Tibbs go than Toppin. I don't think that Tibbs is the guy to get us over the hump. That Tibbs is the guy to really push everything forward. He got lucky this year because he lucked into Brunson taking this crazy step, but their offense is very, very isolation heavy, and that's not a great success for postseason, winning and stuff like that. So I think we need a little bit more creativity offensively, and Tibbs is not the guy to be creative offensively.
Yeah. All right. Next team. What should the Toronto Raptors do? What's their biggest need?
Break it up. break it up. There's so many teams where they just need direction. They need to sit down and figure out a plan, and for them, they need to figure out if they really want to trade, or not trade, but like if they're going to re-sign Van Vliet, they're going to trade Siakam, what they're going to do with this. Are they finally going to trade OG Anunoby? Please, just figure out what you want to do.
I cannot believe they declined 4 first-round picks from the Memphis Grizzlies. Like that is an insane fumble. That is an insane fumble, and their heads and egos are so inflated. And I think maybe a year and a half, 2 years from now, they're gonna look at that trade and be like, "Damn, we really kicked ourselves in the foot because now we're trading them for a first-round pick." It's tough. What were you gonna say, Isaac?
I think OG's a guy you keep around. Like, he's a valuable player. It's hard to find guys like that. I don't hate that they didn't trade him, but I think they should trade everybody besides him and Scotty and just, like, commit to a rebuild, suck for a couple of years, get 2 more rookies, 2 more young guys to pair up with those 2 and have a core. Because Fred VanVleet's going to walk, I think. I think he's going to go to Houston because that bag's too hard to turn down. If he stays, okay, whatever, do your whole be mid thing and hope you can be the Heat, sure. But if Fred leaves, they got to trade Siakam. He's at his values at all-time high.
Yeah.
They got to cash in, get some assets, tank for a year, maybe 2 years, and like you said, have some direction. Give yourself a chance to build a core that matters and isn't going to just be 8 seed at best.
Facts.
Exactly.
That's like the third. That's like the third team we've said their biggest need is to tank.
There's a lot of teams that are mid right now, but they refuse to believe that they're mid, and that's it.
If you like that. All right, next team we got. What is the biggest need of the Indiana Pacers?
I think they just need more bodies next to Tyrese Halliburton. Maybe you want to look for a second star, but I don't know if like you need to rush into that process just yet. So probably a 4, but you just drafted a 4. So
yeah, I think the opposite. I think they have too many bodies. I think they have to clear up that backcourt logjam. They have Mathurin, Buddy Hield, Duarte, Naismith, all these guys that are 2s, and I think they should move off of some of them and try to consolidate. Buddy Hield's been on the trade block for fucking ever. I think trading Buddy Hield is a good option. You can trade Duarte because he's just Chris Duarte. Like, it's pretty irrelevant. Either way, I think they need to free up Benedict Mathurin to be the full-time starting shooting guard to let him build next to Tyrese Halliburton. Because they have a formula now. It's Tyrese as your star point guard next to Mathurin as your good 2 guard, and then Turner as your star center, whatever, your centerpiece center with Jarris Walker now to be the guy next to him. That's your front and backcourt solidified, but you got to give Mathurin the ability to actually take those minutes.
Yeah, that's cool. I think they're in a step. I think they took a step in the right direction, and we said this on the draft pod. But getting Jarris Walker, they need to fill out their defensive infrastructure, and they need to make sure that Tyrese is kind of protected on the defensive end, and really just let him, get into his bag. Obviously, push him to be a better, like team defender, be good in the spots, but you have to fill out the spots around him. And with Walker, with Turner, you can maybe get another guy in there who's really good at defense. That can really free him up on offense and honestly help them just get into transition and get these stops and get to pushing and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, they were a good team last year when they were healthy. I don't think they have to shake up too much. Just free up the minutes for the guys that have long-term value to you.
Yeah, exactly. But long-term, if Indiana is serious, they need to really, just like you just said, Isaac, put Mathurin in the best position to thrive, because you expect him to be the second guy alongside Tyrese, because with the way they're built right now, I think they have a legit chance to build a potential contender in the next 3, 4 years, 5 years from now. And as of now, it was just all about who's a core piece, who is a part of our actual young core, or whatever you want to call it.
For sure. And I think Tyrese, Mathurin, and Walker is a nice young core to start with. Just empower them all.
Definitely.
Next up, what is the biggest need of the Miami Heat?
Damian Lillard. they need him for real. And it feels kind of weird because they got there, but this idea of we're just gonna lean on the power of friendship to get us through every single round. that can only take you so far, and we've seen that, right? They can get to the finals, but they can't win it because they don't have enough talent, they don't have enough offensive creation, and it's a lot to put on just Jimmy Butler and hoping that Duncan Robinson and Caleb Martin have the series of their lives. So go get a legitimate star who you know can score at a high level, who you know can play make for everybody else. Take the load off of Jimmy, and more importantly, take the load off of Bam. Right, Bam Adebayo he's not going to be the second best offensive player on a championship team. Relegate him to the third role. Go get another guy who can score and keep it moving.
Yeah, I want them to get Kyrie, but to be more broad, they need to shore up their guard rotation. Because Kyle Lowry, washed. Or just talks, they might cut him. He's done.
Cutting Kyle Lowry?
I know. Gabe Vincent and Max Strus are both free agents that teams are looking at. We saw reports that the Raptors might throw a bag at Gabe Vincent to replace Fred VanVleet if he leaves. I saw a jersey swap with Gabe Vincent, which is hilarious. And Max Strus...
Was it a Miami jersey swap, though?
No. It was Gabe Vincent in a Raptors jersey.
Oh my God, bro! I feel like Raptors fans put everyone in it. God.
But and then Max Strus is rumored to be being sought after by the Pacers and a lot of teams. So they could potentially lose a lot of guard minutes this offseason. So the Damian Lillard thing is just like to be determined by Damian Lillard. So not much they can do there. Kyrie's Kyrie. If they're interested, I would like that. But even outside of that, if they lose those guys, they got to figure something out because they're gonna have a lot of minutes to figure out.
Damn.
The kid pulled it up. Just look at this. Look at the jersey swap,
bro. This is gross.
This is nasty work.
Gabe Vincent jersey swaps. We are losing recipes.
Wow.
They're gone. They're lost.
This is how you know the Toronto Raptors are in the trenches. They need help.
This is tough.
It looks good though. It looks right. He feels like a Raptor. I can see that.
Yeah, nice, scrappy. Not necessarily moving the needle, but he's a good
just undrafted point guard to undrafted point guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. All right, guys. What is the biggest need of the Milwaukee Bucks?
Ooh, man. We haven't heard a lot from Chris Middleton. As you pointed out before the pod, that we haven't heard any updates whatsoever. There's a chance that they might lose Brook Lopez. And if you put yourself in their position, you have a generational player here, and you could continue to build something special, or you can cash out Chris Middleton. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has nice things that a lot of people didn't expect that would be on his resume. And at this point, like, what more? I don't know. I don't know. It's just interesting. And if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, you have a chance here to either retool your roster a little bit, which I don't know if you want to do because things are solidified. You were the number 1 seed last year, or be like running backs. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's find a way to re-sign Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. I think if you lose those guys, you don't have the flexibility to replace them very well, and it would be borderline disastrous to their championship window. I think to lose both of them. If you lose Brook Lopez, you'll live. Giannis will be the full-time center for a while until you can find his replacement. But losing him and Chris, they're both unrestricted free agents. And like you said, we haven't heard any rumors about Chris. Maybe that's because he's just going to re-sign with the Bucks, and there hasn't been talk because that's what it is. He hasn't been talking to anybody. But I don't know. It's a total mystery. I don't know what is going on with Chris Middleton.
Nobody knows. No, nobody knows. It's very clear. That's priority one. They've gone all in on this core. If you want to look past that, maybe some more shooting off the bench, right? Just make sure that that the floor can be as spread as possible and as wide open. But they have to make sure that, I think you said it's going to be disastrous. I think if they don't have Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez, at least next season, that window's closed. Next season,
yeah.
The team looks so different, bro.
I don't even know what the next move would be. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
They can't let that happen. They can't let that happen.
Yeah, man. Last team. We made it through the whole ringer. What is the biggest need of the Philadelphia 76ers in free agency?
They already addressed it. Man. They already addressed it. They got themselves a new head coach. They needed to get rid of Doc Rivers, and they did. Nick Nurse is in there, and I guess now it's now it's try to get some valuable assets for James Harden. Maybe get more than a crumble cookie for Tobias Harris. but I think they're gonna be okay. Even with just Maxey and Harris. Like I don't think that Maxey is gonna take some monstrous leap. But I like Tyrese Maxey a lot. And I think I've been waiting for Philly to give him the keys. And so if Harden is truly, truly gone, I'm excited to see what he can do at the point guard position.
Yeah, I think their biggest need is it's obvious, right? It's get the best haul you can for James Harden.
Yes.
It's replenish your depth via James Harden trade. Go out there and get Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, and Robert Covington for James Harden.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I actually like that. God, yeah, I actually like that. That's crazy. Anyways, while all those things I 110% agree with you guys, they probably also need to start slowly swallowing the pill that like the process is probably going to be over, because this is now your third implementation installment of the Joel Embiid contender team. Went through it first with the Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and after that, Ben Simmons, and that was an actual real thing for just a hot second, and now you're with James Harden, and that folded like a pancake. And so now it's like, how many more opportunities does a star player have in this league to have real chances? And now at this point, it's just like, I hope that they cash in at the most opportune moment and not do anything to set yourself back whatsoever.
Yeah, so. I'm glad you said that, because you see the tweet Nikhil just pulled up is perfectly in line with what you just said. It's from this dude, Matt Spanhor, who good TikToker, I like his content a lot, said, the process 76ers have had one of the longest team-building arcs in recent history. Absolute facts. They've cycled through so many eras since they drafted Joel Embiid and did the whole teardown. There's a Ben Simmons era. Jimmy Butler was part of that. Markelle Fultz was part of that. James Harden was part of that. Like, now they're going to be whoever the next person next to Joel Embiid is. Like, How often have we seen a star, have an era around him like Joel Embiid and have this many renditions of the team? Like, it's crazy.
It doesn't happen unless you literally move teams, and Joel Embiid hasn't done that at all. So it's like he's been through the ringer, and that's like a fortunate thing because you have a front office that's clearly like capable of doing the right things. It's just like, straight up luck.
They traded away Jimmy. They traded away Jimmy Butler.
That's true. That is true. They did trade away Jimmy Butler, but they cashed in him at the right moment. They made a terrible decision keeping Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. That clip lives in my head rent free, bro.
And it wasn't even Tobias Harris. They chose Ben Simmons over him, but Jimmy feels like it's Tobias because they play they both play on the wing. But I
love that delusion.
Yeah, it's whatever though. But the process has been over for a couple years now. Even before, the process ended probably 2018. Once it was clear that the Sixers are going to be a good team and they're not going to tank anymore, that's when the process ended. But I got
to make this into a YouTube video, man. This is going to be fun.
He's writing it down.
Yeah.
Love
my
that.
chicken scratch handwriting.
That's hilarious. Well, man, that's it. We got through the whole league.
Look at that.
And I hear sirens in the background, and I think those are the bells ringing. We have Quasimodo up in the tower ringing the bells for TikTok time.
Yeah,
let's go.
The crayon eaters over here banging on my walls right now, fiending for it.
They need that shit. Right. As always, we're gonna start with the draft. I hope y'all prepared for this one. I hope y'all prepared. This one's you need to have some names written down.
Let's go.
Because this draft is only NBA players whose first name starts with the letter K.
Okay.
So, let's draft NBA players whose first name starts with the letter K. I said that weird. Let me say it again. Let's draft NBA players whose first name starts with the letter K. Who had first pick last time?
I did.
Oh, I did, and I fucked it up. So Donovan's first, Mo's second, I'm third.
Okay.
Damn.
We can double up here. Okay.
Damn.
All right, with my first pick, give me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Naturally.
Nice. Okay, go ahead and give me Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Kobe!
First off, I'm taking Kevin Durant easily.
Okay.
Nice.
I can go a lot of places with the second pick.
Don't do it.
Just give me the best wing duo possible. Give me Kawhi Leonard.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, you got Kawhi. Go ahead and give me Kevin Garnett.
Come on.
You're not gonna believe this. I forgot about Kevin Garnett.
You sold.
I sold 2 drafts in a row.
You sold. It's okay.
This
Okay.
is my draft.
So I got Kareem. Dang, y'all took. Okay, just let me fill out my backcourt here. Give me Kyrie Irving and give me Klay Thompson.
Oh, that's exactly what I
Blood
wanted.
froze.
That's a fantastic backcourt. That's a nasty team.
Wait, did you just choose Donovan?
Yeah, I got Kyrie and Klay.
Okay, my thing just froze. Wow, that's so crazy. Okay, cool. So you got Kyrie and Klay.
Yes.
And then you have Kareem.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I got Kobe and I have Kevin Garnett. Now this is where things get a little bleak. So go ahead for my. This is a little steep, but at my 5, give me Kristaps Porzingis.
Okay. I was trying to get him. I was hoping he fell back.
I need Pingus on my team.
I need a 5-2. It's gross to say this. Give me the spacing. Give me Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, no, you're done.
Kareem's eating.
And then, do I pick Nasty Man?
Who's Nasty Man?
Stop that.
Oh no!
We don't accept that on this pod.
No.
Okay.
No,
okay,
I saw his jersey today at the NBA store. Damn near threw up.
Wait,
Don't
they
pick
still
him.
sell it?
Yes, I went to the NBA store in Manhattan, dude. They still sell it with pride.
Oh,
Crazy.
That's crazy.
You know what? At my 4, I need some inside presence. Give me Kevin McHale.
Okay.
I should have picked him over. It is what I need spacing, whatever. Okay, cool.
Picking Porzingis over Cat is wild. What the hell?
Yeah, no, I don't like Cat, bro. If it's deep voice Cat, then okay, give me that. But if it's the real Cat, I don't want that. All right. So, at my point, actually, I think he'll be available. So I got Kobe at my 2. I got KG Porzingis to fill in that wing spot. Give me Chris Middleton.
You
Good pick.
bum. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Y'all told me to do my homework. Worst decision of your life.
Nah. Okay. Now I gotta go back to the list. But okay, at my 4, give me Kevin Love.
Good pick.
Nice.
And now I have a 3 to figure out because I really did not think that Mo was gonna get Chris Middleton, and he threw everything off. I have no idea where to go right now for my 3. We
done. Go ahead.
This
Pick
is
Kuz.
gonna be the nastiest pick
Pick
ever.
Kuz, you munch. You thought I forgot about that? You thought I forgot about that TikTok?
You got
Go
you
ahead,
really
pick
picked
blonde hair boy. Let's do it.
For my last pick, give me Kyle Kuzma.
Ew.
He threw
You have
me-
a narrative and agenda that you're trying to push.
He threw me off so bad. He threw me off. I'm upset. I'm upset.
Cool.
I'm upset.
Round this off.
I'm so mad.
Round this off. Give me the cheeks of steel, Kyle Lowry. Oh, my team is nasty.
I was about to pick
My team is
him.
nasty. Yup. Don't tell me to do my homework. This draft is over.
Oh, you just ruined my plans too. Damn, I needed Kyle Lowry. All right, I need a point guard too. Give me Kemba Walker.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm
That's
mad.
Oh, you just spoiled both of our teams.
Yep, this is what I do, man. I'm sweating this bitch because it's no fucking AC.
I'm
God.
upset. I'm so mad.
All
All right, so I have Kemba Walker, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Kevin McHale, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Nice. I got Kyle Lowry, Kobe, Chris Middleton, KG, and Kristaps Porzingis.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I have Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Love, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's
That's
3
still
and
a
4.
great team.
3 and 4 is lacking, but that 1, 2, and 5 is crazy.
I mean, listen, if we're talking
Yeah.
about prime Kevin Love, 30-30, listen, I'm considering 30-30 his prime, so he's giving me 30 and 30 every game.
Yeah, Tubby Wubby Kevin Love was a different breed, bro.
You know what I mean?
That's disrespectful.
Like, you should have picked Kyle Korver over Kuz.
Ooh, yeah.
Even more shooting?
You would have crazy shooting if you had that.
I mean,
You
yeah,
had
but
no-
I got Kyrie and Klay.
Okay.
I forget Kyle Korver, bro. I miss him.
And Kevin Love. Like, I'm pretty good on shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Next TikTok. We are going to do a tier list as usual. My hair's all crazy because I was laughing so hard. It's all frizzy. We're going to do a tier list this time of the best white players that we can think of. Not best white players of all time, but a white player tier list.
We love race relations on this pod.
Exactly.
This time it's only American white people. No international players. We've been told we should do that because including like Jokic and stuff is cheating.
Okay. Fair.
So?
People are going to be like, what about Curry? Shut up, man.
They're so stupid. There's so many comments about that. They're idiots, man.
I know.
Right. Let's put these white NBA players into a tier list.
It's a hilarious sentence.
White. First off, GOAT, Larry Bird.
S tier.
Easy. S.
S tier.
Easy. Automatic. What about Kevin Love?
I think he should be either A or B.
I
Prime
would say
Kevin Love
B.
was nasty, but he kind of empty stats, but he was really fucking talented. So I can't say fuck anymore because TikTok likes to take away our money. But he was really talented, so I'm okay with A.
I want to say.
I'm feeling B plus.
Okay,
we'll go
B,
there.
whatever.
We'll go B plus, but he has to be in B.
Fair.
You want B?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
B is fair.
In my head, I can't think of Larry Bird then Kevin Love. Nah,
Yeah.
I can't put it there.
You're
There's
right.
there's
You're
a
right.
tier in
You're
the
right.
middle between those guys.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, next up, Gordon Hayward.
C.
Oh, he made it. All-Star Gordon Hayward his prime year was pretty good.
Yeah, but he was
kinda-
never on the same level as Kevin Love.
He wasn't. He's C. He's C.
Yeah.
But he also had a very short prime, so like he could be D.
Yeah.
We might have to go B. We might have to go
No.
B.
No, Kevin Love cannot be on the same level as Gordon Hayward.
Why not?
Oh no, he's not B. He's for sure not B. I said D.
Oh, D.
Oh, D?
Oh, that's kinda disrespectful.
It's a disconnect.
Okay.
Yeah, I say C.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll go
C.
C.
We'll go
If
C.
you're thinking D, we'll go C.
He's damn sure not B.
Yeah. Okay.
JJ Redick.
Wait, time out. Wait, I have a question. Are we putting these in the tier list just like as based on like how good they were as basketball players, or like how good they are at being white boys? Like, because that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Basketball player.
How good there as white
Okay,
boys.
that's why I had Gordon Hayward at B, because I was like, listen, he's a very stereotypical white boy. He should be at least B.
Why would we be talking about that?
I don't know. That's what I thought in my head. Okay.
No,
Okay,
basketball
my
players.
bad. Little disconnect. We're here now, though. We're back.
Okay.
We're back. Okay.
JJ Redick.
Throwing old man to the 3, he's a S tier, but on the court, he's a C tier. It's weird to say.
Yeah, he
but
can't
he's
be
a
in the
C
same tier as Kevin Love. If it was podcasting only, S tier. C fair.
Yeah, one of the greatest shooters easily of all time. So slept on for no reason.
Jerry West.
S tier. He's the
S.
logo. He's the
Yeah.
logo. Are we putting him in A just because he played, when they had no 3-point line?
Is he in the same conversations as Larry Bird?
I think so. In terms of white players, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
he can
All
be
right,
S tier.
S tier.
He's the second best white player of all time. He's got to be S tier.
Yeah, easy, bro.
Adam Silver.
You know I got beef
Mixed
with Adam.
feelings.
You know I have beef with Adam.
Some days I want to say B. Other days I want to say he's not even on the radar.
Exactly. I'm putting Adam Silver in D.
Ooh, D tier commish.
Yeah.
All right, D tier. Let's do it.
Listen, he's no David Stern. I'll say that.
Exactly.
Last one, Kevin Herter.
Sir,
Ooh.
he is not white. His name is Kavan. He does not belong here. He does not belong here.
He belongs on another tier list.
I think he.
Yep.
Let's be real. He should be a D tier. He's not
Nah,
as good as.
that's
JJ Redick.
that's where he belongs. He's there.
Yeah, D tier. You don't want to throw an Austin
Love it.
Reeves in this guy?
Austin Reeves.
Yeah,
Where's
he's
he
the
at?
one who needs-
All
Also
time.
D.
All
Also
time.
D.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. D. Yeah. On the way to C though.
Yeah, he'll be there eventually, probably.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Love
They
it.
call that boy Hillbilly Kobe. He has to be a great NBA player.
That's funny. Next thing we're gonna do, Mo. I think you have some tattoos to show us.
Ooh, yeah. So for the audio listeners, and the YouTube watchers too. We're gonna make a TikTok segment based off of rating NBA tattoos. Could be tattoos that players actually have, or stupid ass fans, or stupid fans. So, Nikhil, you got all the ammo loaded up.
Yep.
And we
right
are
now.
going to react. So here goes the hooks.
That's
Let's
fine,
rate these NBA tattoos from 1 to 10.
Cool.
All right. First up, we got this Boston Celtics disgustingness.
Ooh.
Listen, it would be a 1 because they lost, but they lost in the finals. So he was on to something. He was cooking something. So I'll give it a 2.
Okay, we'll give him a 2 just for commitment to the bit.
I think it gotta be a 3 though, because he could kind of cover that up. It's not that hard of a tattoo to cover up.
That's a whole banner. What are you talking about? That's hard.
It's a whole banner.
Bro, those are solid black
filled in.
lines. You're going to have to cover that up with a block.
2.
Yeah, that's a 3.
You're going to have to cover that up with a fucking flag.
Listen, don't tell him that.
It's a Bostonians, you know.
Don't tell him that.
You see his face? That is anger.
All right, what's next?
The next one we got. Ooh.
Mike Muscala. Oh, not Mike Muscala. My bad. We got Mike Scott and the infamous emoji tattoos.
Come on, man. You a
Bro,
grown man.
these were bad back in the day when I saw it, and I was like, those are the worst tattoos I've ever seen. 7 years later, they're worse. This is horrible.
What makes it even worse
Grown
now
man,
is
dog.
the Snapchat tattoo. Nobody uses that anymore, man.
I
Back
feel
in the day,
tongue
he
out.
must have thought this was cool. He was showing the hoes in the club. Look what I got. Look at these. Yeah, no, that's a 0.
Nah,
This is horrible.
It's a straight 0. Think about how bad those emoji sweatsuits were, and then think about this man has that on his body all day, every day. It's a 0.
Forever.
No, this is terrible.
They're not going away. Look at the other arm in the back. Look at his forearm. He has like a family
Look
emoji
at family.
tattoos. I've never seen that part.
Oh my
man
god.
sucks.
This is new to me. Yeah, this has to be
This
one
man
of
is
the worst.
40 emojis deep. He has depth. This is nuts.
Grown
He
man.
has the deepest emoji bag in the
This is
NBA,
crazy.
bro.
He got an emoji village.
Oh, bro.
Fucking
This is
0.
ridiculous. Yeah, 0. Nah, this is despicable. Bro.
Absolute 0.
All right. Next up, we got the John Morant. It's a Paredes on my city tattoo from a Boston Celtics fan. This is peak insanity, bro.
That is not John Morant. That is a Dominican barber. That is Cat Williams.
A fan of another team getting this. I can't talk. It's that bad. It's that bad. What is this?
I kind of want
Does
to
he have a
10.
gun?
He has a gun.
Yes.
Okay, listen. For comedic purposes alone, this is a 10.
This is a 10. This guy's insane.
That's
he does
crazy.
not operate
Bro.
on the same reality scale that we operate on. He's in his own world, living with a different set of rules. This is a 10.
My thing, it would be a 10, but the body placement. Why I gotta be on your thigh? Out of all places, you want to be like taking a number 2 when you gonna see Paredes somebody sit. Like, what are you doing right now? I think he could have put that on his back, on his ass, on his bro. Anywhere else but the thigh. Yeah. Placement was just terrible for me, man.
10. This is great.
I'm with it.
Next up, we got RJ. RJ's basketball in the middle of the J. I'm in the middle of the R. What you guys rate this?
What's it? Did LeBron draw this? You see
I don't know.
LeBron draw it?
This looks like something that you draw when you're just like when you're tapped out in high school. When you're just drawing stuff on the notebook. This looks what that
No,
is.
he had senioritis and he drew this and took it to the he had
What is this?
senioritis and he drew this and took it to the tattoo parlor that night.
Listen, in 2002, that's a nice logo though. I'm gonna give this a 7. At least a 7.
Rugrats ass logo. What are you talking about?
Rugrats.
In 2002, they weren't that
At the
creative.
peak of
back then.
Rugrats powers. All right.
Yeah, for his time, that must have been hard for sure. But this aged like quite literally.
Does he still have
1.
this?
Probably.
Yeah. One. All right. Next up, y'all gonna love this one.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is Jason Williams, white boy tattoo. This is hard. I
10
don't
out
care
of 10.
what nobody said.
10 out of
Okay.
10. He knows who
who
he
you are, bro.
is. I like
Facts.
this.
He's in touch with his culture. He's a man of roots.
I like this.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Good
Everybody
job.
should know where they come from.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Always repping.
On the knuckles is incredible placement, bro.
What Drake says, hardly home, but I'm always repping. It's Jason Williams.
Bar. This is easily a 10. It's easily a 10, bro. All right.
Why is there white bread behind him?
Oh my god, I didn't even see that. What type of photo shoot is this?
Because he's white. Very simple.
What did you get?
What?
I thought it was clear cut.
So random. What does that have to do with anything?
What's on the left side? Is that Xanax? What is that? Oh, it's white chocolate. Oh, it's white chocolate.
Yeah. Oh god.
There was bars in the background.
You thought this was a political statement?
Yeah, and then the's dimes in the background too. God, it makes sense. This is a hard photo. Minus
crazy.
the bread.
With a random PS2 controller?
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, this is hard.
This is Austin Reeves before Austin Reeves.
Yeah, this is a dull
next?
W. Yeah. So next up, oh man, we got DeJounte Murray we got DeJounte Murray. We got DeJounte Murray and his Invader Zim ass tattoo that he got when he was 16 years old or something like that. Does that
alien have a grill on?
I don't know what he has on,
What?
bro.
Is he iced out? Look at him.
Did his parents sign off on this? He had to get
bro.
this as an adult. This is the peak of I'm 19. I just got $1 million. What can I do?
Exactly.
This is awful. This is terrible. I'm giving this a 0.
Well, listen, we've given some pretty low grades, and this is better than some of the stuff we've seen. So I'm gonna give like a 3.
He put a grill on an alien. Isaac, no.
Loki, I thought it was a baseball with eyes.
No, this is a 0.
Okay, it's a 0. You can have it.
At the same time, this looks like
I'm
a
disgusted.
fish kind of too. I ain't gonna lie, this might have to be a 0. Looks like a plethora of things, which is
It's
terrible.
just
For
scary. I just don't want to look at it.
It's not even scary. It's just weird.
Does he have a child? If he has a daughter, it would terrify
He
me.
has 2 kids.
Oh, those kids are horrified every night. Imagine putting your kid to sleep and you turn to the right and she's rah.
Terrible parents.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was ass. That was the last one.
That's terrible. I think that was the last one. That was perfect.
The kill pulled up LeBron's drawing. I love it.
This had to be LeBron. This had to be DeJounte Murray's our tattoo artist for sure.
Mark got a big ass head though. My bad, Mark. LeBron is a goofball.
Yeah, I'm dead.
He's hilarious.
Okay, next thing we got. We're gonna do something we did a couple weeks ago. You guys loved. I'm gonna name NBA franchises, and we have to talk about who their best player in team history is.
Let's
Greatest
do it.
player. Greatest player.
Legacy talk.
Yep, I love it.
This is your
Who is
bag,
the
dog.
greatest player in this NBA team's history? The New York Knicks. My fucking voice cracked.
Is it
The New York
Pat
Knicks.
Yeah, it's Pat.
Ewing?
It's Pat Ewing.
Yeah, it's not. There's no conversation. No Clyde Frazier love.
I don't think it comes close.
I mean,
does
no
it?
Walt Frazier love.
Nah, I
Oh.
would say, listen, Walt, he got the chips, and you can make that argument, but I think Pat probably embodies what it means to be a Knick. The
Dave
most.
DeBusschere.
Nah, it's not Dave. It's not Dave.
Phil Jackson.
Ew.
I'm just talking. It's Pat.
Nah, it's Pat.
It's Pat. Pat had.
Yeah.
Pat's the most talented superstar they've ever had.
Easily. And I think there's a sizable gap for that too. So it's kind of a no-brainer.
Respect to Walt though. The New Orleans Pelicans / the Hornets.
Chris Paul.
Anthony Davis.
No.
Ooh.
Prime
Hey,
Chris Paul is the
Chris
best.
Paul also didn't do shit with the Hornets.
Yeah.
So they were both top 5 players at their peak. Both did absolutely nothing. I don't know how to parse that.
Chris
Anthony
Paul.
Davis.
Stop. Prime Chris Paul. people were saying that Prime Chris Paul was like robbed of an MVP. And Anthony Davis was never at that point where he was robbed of an MVP. He was there taking. They were actually making runs with that team.
Yeah, just because they had a terrible team around Anthony Davis, but they were both extremely high peaked.
Yeah.
Are y'all
Rob
taking? We're taking. Are y'all seriously taking
No,
Anthony
we can go
Davis
Chris
over
Paul.
Chris Paul?
We can go Chris Paul.
Yeah,
But it's close. You'd be
I'd give it
surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how little Chris Paul did. Like we rag on AD for accomplishing nothing. Chris Paul didn't do anything to the Hornets either, so like it's close. But I'll go Chris Paul.
That almost won MVP thing is the hardest thing on his resume right now.
Great, he didn't win MVP. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
keep that same energy. Keep that same energy when we talk about the dudes.
I love it. I remember it's Anthony Davis. Like, he's also another NBA top 75 legend guy. Like, it's not like it's a schmuck. We're not comparing him to Zion.
Come on now.
All right, next team. The Brooklyn Nets.
Damn.
I mean, it would be.
This is hard because nobody accomplished anything in that jersey, really.
I guess.
None am I talking about? It's Dr. J.
It's Dr. J.
It's Dr. J. I was thinking Jason Kidd, Kevin Durant. I don't know. It's Dr. J.
I think it has to be. Yeah, it has to be Dr. J. I think with what he meant to basketball as a whole, and then also including the level player he was, easily has to be Dr. J. Inspirational as hell.
Yeah, and who'd be second? Would it be Kevin Durant? Like, even though he was only there for a couple of years.
Personally, I'd say KD. Secondly,
sure. No, it would be Jason Kidd after that.
Oh, because he made the finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The Golden State Warriors.
Is it Wilt or Steph?
It's Steph Curry.
I can't believe you just asked that. This is a trick question. Do you really act like there was an option here? It's Steph Curry.
Cut and dry.
Yeah.
Cut and dry.
Not even close.
I almost made a bad joke. Okay. The Houston Rockets.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem.
Yeah.
Easily
Hakeem.
Yeah, Hakeem.
Easily Hakeem.
It's obviously Hakeem. Who's second? Is it James Harden, number 2?
Yes.
I think it got to be Harden.
Yeah.
Is he like Hakeem's obviously number 1? Is James Harden just as easy number 2?
I think so.
Yeah. I would say so.
I don't think there's anyone necessarily in that conversation for real.
They don't have a lot of greats in their history.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. They're really lacking. But
Okay.
hey, they got lucky, so it is what it is.
The Los Angeles Clippers.
This is bleak, man.
It's either Chris Paul or Blake Griffin. Who are we giving the nod to?
I feel
Chris
nasty
Paul.
picking Blake Griffin.
Really?
Okay, cool. Then I'll give it to Chris Paul.
What's the argument for Blake over Chris Paul?
What's the argument for Blake over Chris Paul?
He was there a little bit longer.
Blake wasn't even the best version of Blake Griffin. Wasn't even a Clipper. You know?
No, that 2015 playoff Blake was ungodly. He was insane.
That is true. But his first year in Detroit, first full season in Detroit, was different, bro.
Yeah,
all around Blake Griffin.
For sure. That's the year we saw skilled Blake Griffin that still had a little bit of athleticism. He was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I think I have to go with Chris Paul, personally.
Yeah, not a lot of great options with this team. Chris Paul by default.
Could
have been Kawhi, but he's made of glass.
They've been in the mud for decades.
Yeah, the Clippers. Clippers history is bleak as hell, dude.
Yeah, what a poor franchise. We have one more TikTok to do. This one is going to be another one of our bread and butters, an old versus new. This man is slurping. It's going to be old versus new point guard edition.
Glazing.
Whoa. So, I'm going to name some point guards. You guys tell me which one's better, old or new. It's going to be former players and current players on the same team. So, which NBA point guard was better, old versus new? Trae Young or Pete Maravich?
Listen, respect to Pete Maravich. I bet you were a boss in your day. But you could not hold Trae Young if he was playing with one arm tied behind his back. I'm giving Trae Young the nod. I just know that he's a better basketball player than Pete Maravich.
Yeah, for sure.
If you put Trae Young back in that day, bro, they gonna think he's doing some voodoo wizardry.
Yeah.
It would not be real what Trae Young do.
They'd have him burned at the stake for witchcraft. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
You know how a lot of people overrate Kyrie Irving because he's flashy? Pete Maravich was the OG of that. He was overrated for being flashy, and Kyrie was way more skilled than Pete Maravich. Pete Maravich might be the most overrated player in NBA history. Even back in the day, all he did was run around and fucking throw fancy passes, and people were like,
"Oh man,
the kids love him."
He's gonna be at your dough.
He was tricking people for sure. OG trickster.
Respects though.
All right, this one I'm being loose with the term point guard. Allen Iverson or prime James Harden?
Allen Iverson.
Prime James Harden.
I know people want me to say Allen Iverson. I think I'm going prime James Harden.
Sucks, but it's prime James Harden for sure.
But I think it's kind of unfair though. It's kind of unfair. We're talking about with this franchise though, right?
That is true.
It's just old versus new. I don't know.
I'm going to say prime James Harden. I want to ruffle feathers.
It's not interesting to say current James Harden versus prime Allen Iverson. I wouldn't have picked it.
Yeah, exactly. Prime James Harden for sure. It's not even close, bro.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it's not even close to be disrespectful, but let's be real. It's really not close.
Nah.
Yeah, respect Allen Iverson. The finals run is an impressive notch on his resume.
Something that James Harden doesn't have. I'm going against him. It's Allen Iverson.
I'm not going to say Allen Iverson's a better player because he won one more playoff game in his perfect run.
Nah, listen, James Harden couldn't do it.
Yeah. He got to a game 7 in the conference finals. I'm sorry, dude. They missed 27 straight threes. I'm still going him.
Allen Iverson never missed 27 straight threes. he got a bucket when it was necessary, and James Harden couldn't do it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you put Allen Iverson in the same type of infrastructure. Maybe this is a different conversation, but it's not right now, and that's just a hypothetical.
Exactly.
James Harden.
He said exactly like we're on his side.
You're wrong for that.
Yeah. When it comes down, there's only been several players who have ever been the best scorer in the NBA and a top 3 to 5 passer at the same time. It's like LeBron, Jokic, Harden. I gotta go Harden.
All right, go ahead and lose those playoff games.
Allen Iverson, playoff winner. Oh no. All right, next up,
You'll see.
Jason Kidd versus Luka Doncic. Is Luka already better than Prime Kidd?
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
He's played 5 seasons and made 4 first-team All-NBAs.
Remind the kids how good Prime Jason Kidd was.
Listen, Prime Jason Kidd as a passer is ridiculous. And Prime Jason Kidd was out here making back-to-back finals with Richard Jefferson on one side, Kenya Martin. Like, they didn't have too much talent. Listen, he did have Vince Carter, but...
You're talking too much.
You can't gloss over Vince Carter.
No. But it's like, you still have no shooting on that team whatsoever. And they
Nobody had shooting. It was 2001.
So, listen, relative to what everybody else had, they had even less shooting. And Jason Kidd was still doing stuff. Back-to-back finals. I want to give it to Kidd.
They're both like top-tier passers of all time. Luka's a way better scorer. Kidd's a way better defender. It's kind of tough.
I don't like Luka's vibes.
Give me 30, 10, and 10. Give me Luka, bro.
Luka be crying. I don't like it. Give me Jason Kidd.
I'll go Luka, but just barely. I'm just giving Luka benefit of the doubt for he's going to keep getting better. But it's close.
TikTok aging like milk.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our episode. If you're still here, what should they comment? Mo, you decide.
What should they comment? Bro.
Oh, never mind. My bad. I got to decide. If you're still here, comment, Mo and Donovan make a channel. Comment that.
I got a channel. Mojo99. Donovan, what's your channel name?
I actually don't know.
Say,
It's coming.
Say make some videos, Mo and Donovan. That's what I want to see you comment.
It's on the way.
Make some videos, Mo and Donovan.
It's on the way. You're making the block hot. Okay? I'm trying to keep it on the low, right? Trying to surprise people, right?
Go ahead.
You got us.
Cop our merch. Subscribe to Isaac Gutierrez. Follow us on Twitter.
The block hot.
All that. And until then, Crayon Eaters, we're out.
Nice. See ya.